Think we got everything in order. Wow, you guys are awesome. You guys are really in here. Look at that. You guys are really in here. That's really dope. That is really, really dope. Okay, I got to get everything ready because now Candace Owens is going live. It's going to be lit. Hello, Pink Singer. Hello, Probably Bass. Hello, Michael. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it. Like I said, you know, it's going to sound like a stretch, but I've just noticed little things. So, like, let's just think of how Candace Owens operates, right? Let's just think something like this where she's being sued. Because let's think about me, right? I could go live whenever I want, and my videos are not scripted at all. I literally go live and just talk, right? I'll talk off the cuff, right? So, dang, we got 13 people in here in 5 seconds. going live on the main channel was a good idea. What's up, guys? Thank you for being here. We don't go live often on this channel, but we're here. Okay, back to Probably Based. So I'm just thinking, like, I'm trying to think, like, if I were in her position, right? She saw the thing on Twitter. Like, one thing we know about her is she's on social media all the time. She's always like, unless she's like busy with her kids or something or traveling, she's constantly seeing what's going on, right? So I'm just thinking, like, because this news came out hours ago, and I've seen her show go live at 4 o'clock. I've seen it. It's happened before. And I'm just thinking, Probably Based, if her show is live, why not just turn on a camera and immediately go, right? That's the way I kind of think about it. But I could be totally wrong. Michael said, told you. Yeah, Michael, you were right. Thank you, Michael. You were the GOAT. You were the GOAT, Michael. You were my creative director for the YouTube channel. You're my creative director. You're the GOAT. Anyway, I think this is just my opinion. I think what she does is, I think the show's pre-recorded, but she stays there in the same outfit and she reads the comments. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I really don't know. I'm not sophisticated enough as an editor to know how it works, but I've just seen little things here and there that makes me think that her show is actually pre-recorded. That's what I think. I think her show is pre-recorded, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The ads are definitely pre-recorded, but I don't know. Who is suing her and why? First of all, this is the fastest we've ever gotten a super chat. Wow, should I have been streaming on the main channel the whole time? We're actually getting some money. All right. This news needed on the main one. Great decision. Yeah, that's what I think too, Pink Singer. I think this is so big, I got to go on the main channel. We already got 50 people up in here, so obviously Michael, as my creative advisor, has done a great job, as well as you, Pink Singer. I think she has a crew that's doing lights, camera, and ready to start the pre-records for her ads. Yeah, that could be it. That's why I said I could be wrong. You're right. But it just makes me skeptical that she didn't go live immediately. I'm really wondering why she didn't go live immediately, I just feel like something like that, like you personally being sued, I feel like going live like right then, or at least like an hour after, makes sense. But what I think very likely happened, this is what I think happened. She's going live today at 5:45. Right, but that's 4:45 my time, right? Yeah, she's going live at 4:45. So she's going live in about 20 minutes. But I don't want to spend too much time on this, but my point is, I personally think that what happened is she already pre-recorded the show. That's what I think. I think she already pre-recorded it. And now that she pre-recorded it, the editors went in and they edited the ads and everything like that, and then she plays it. That's what I think. But again, I could totally be wrong. All right, guys, we got 50 freaking people up in here. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Rumple Gold, for the $2 donation. Also, thank you for being a member. Yeah, guys, if you want to become a member, it's a great way to support the channel. Definitely become a member if you want to support the channel. That'd be great. Okay. Who is suing her and why? All right, let's talk about it. I got my headphones over there. Is my screen shared? Yes, my screen is shared. Okay, let me put Candace Owens on standby, so that way we know exactly when she goes live, because she might go live earlier. So let's see. She should pop up right on my thing because I watch her. Yep, she popped right up on my homepage because I watch her. Okay. So we got that there. We'll click this. All right, she's going live in 18 minutes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do my best to tell you guys everything that happened before Candace goes live. And when Candace goes live, obviously we'll get that commentary. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So Candace Owens is being sued by Brian Harpole. For those who don't know, Brian Harpole is the head, or he was the head of security for Charlie Kirk. That's what Brian Harpole was. Brian Harpole is not just suing Candace Owens. Brian Harpole is also suing Mitch Snow. Now, you guys know I have been very skeptical of Mitch Snow. I've been very outspoken about that. I've been very clear. I like Candace, okay? I watch Candace. But just because I like someone doesn't mean I'm not going to tell it how it is. And one thing that you guys are always going to get from me is I'm always going to tell you how I really feel, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and pander to my audience because I know my audience would love for me to say I agree with Mitch Snow, but it's just not in me to do that. I don't pander. I tell it like it is. I do not believe the Mitch Snow guy. I've said that. Now, he could be credible. Maybe he is. But I was always skeptical of that guy. I was always skeptical of him. So I'm not surprised that Brian Harpole is suing them now. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because I want to tell you guys something very important. Mitch Snow may be telling the truth or he may not be. But let's just pretend he's not telling the truth, okay? Let's pretend that he's lying when he says that he saw Brian Harpole at Fort Huachuca. Is that not a lawsuit right there? Is it not? You had some guy on your show who straight up lied and said that Charlie Kirk's head of security was at Fort Huachuca, having conversations and all that stuff. And I mean, if you're not there, like that's pretty serious. That's why I never could get with that one. That's the one thing I can never get with. I just couldn't get with that one. Everything about that guy just sketched me out. And I know the pushback. A lot of people are like, well, just because he like hit his wife and he's a violent guy, he has all these things, that doesn't mean that he's lying. He could just be a terrible guy who also happened to be there. And you're right. You're right. Let's be honest. I have no idea if Mitch Snow was there. I don't know. But if he wasn't there, Brian Harpole's got a lawsuit. He's got a lawsuit. He's got something. Now, let me address all the people who are going around losing their minds. They're all celebrating the Candace Owens lawsuit. Everybody calm down. You see Laura Loomer celebrating it. There's all these big accounts with big followings that I've never even seen before that are celebrating this lawsuit. And I'm like, guys, calm down, okay? Lawsuits are a rich people's game. Getting sued is not that big of a deal when you're in the media space and you're as big as Candace Owens. It's normal. People get sued all the time. This is nothing new. People are literally running on the internet with this lawsuit like it's the end of Candace Owens. Like people are cheering it up. Like, can I show you guys what people are saying? People are losing their minds. Like they're so happy. Here, let me go to the actual tweet. Yeah, this is it right here. Let me just go to the quote tweet so you can see how happy people are. And I'm just like, bro, I can see if Candace Owens lost the lawsuit and had to pay like $1 billion like Alex Jones, but bro, all that's happening is she's getting sued. This is nothing different than what has happened to everybody else. And also the other funny thing about people celebrating this is Candace Owens has actually said plenty of times on her show that she welcomes the lawsuits. I think she knew that these lawsuits were coming. She welcomed them. She's ready for them. She wants them. She's like, go right ahead. And I'm going to tell you guys why. There's two reasons why. One, she really feels that what she's saying is the truth. She wants discovery so she could prove that what she's saying is the truth. And number two, she's not like the rest of us, okay? If we get sued, we're cooked, okay? We don't have $500,000 to defend ourselves, okay? But she does really easily. She does. So that's the other component of her welcoming a lawsuit. Lawsuits don't scare her the way that they scare other people. Traditionally, lawsuits are used to silence journalists and YouTubers and people who are speaking the truth. But I told you guys that Candace Owens is in a rare position. I've been very clear on that. I told you guys from the jump, she is in a rare position. It's not like Alex Jones. Alex Jones made millions of dollars with his InfoWars. He was making a killing on YouTube too. But here's the difference with Candace Owens. Candace Owens has a much more supportive cult-like following, in my opinion, than Alex Jones did. So what can Candace Owens do? She can literally raise $1 million overnight. And I'm going to take it a step further. She knows rich people. She does. There are rich people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars that she could literally get money from. So she can raise money from her audience. She knows other rich people who can help out with the legal expenses. Oh, let's not forget her husband is rich. And I know there's been some debate about that. There's been back and forth. People have always commented on my video and said, he's not rich, his dad's rich. That's not true. They're both rich. They are both rich. Yes, the dad is the one with all the real wealth, but George ain't broke either. George is not broke. He's doing just fine. George is smart. George has been taking the money and investing it. And on top of that, we all already know that George is going to get a huge inheritance from Michael Farmer, who is a lord over in the UK. Okay. So she married British royalty. Well, I guess it's not royalty, but it kind of is. I mean, he's the House of Lords. That's kind of royalty, right? Some of the UK people that are watching, let me know. I think that's royalty, but either way, you know, that's the upper echelon in the UK. So she married into that. She knows rich people, and she could raise a crap ton of money from her fans, and she's welcoming a lawsuit. So I'm just confused on why everybody online is making it seem like this is some slam dunk. Like, look at this guy. His name is AG. He says, so it begins. I'm just checking the time, make sure Candace isn't live. It's nobility. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's nobility. So AG says, so it begins. Given how many people Owens has clearly defamed in recent years, I expect a lot more to come. I don't think she defamed anybody. I really don't. I disagree. I told you guys, when you're a public figure, people are going to say all kinds of things about you. That's just the name of the game. You know, this whole defame thing, it's BS when you're talking about public figures, in my opinion. That's why it's much harder to win a lawsuit when you're a public figure. That's another thing that I want to tell you guys too. People are celebrating this lawsuit like they won the lawsuit. You guys realize it is really hard to sue a public figure, right? It's really hard to do that. It's really hard to file a lawsuit as a public figure and win that. Very rarely do people even win those. So this guy says, I expect a lot more to come. I think a lot more are going to come too. I absolutely think that more people are going to sue Candace Owens. And guess what? Again, she's in a rare situation. Candace Owens is the only person in history that I've ever seen who says, bring on the lawsuits. Have you guys ever seen a person, a podcaster, that said, bring on the lawsuits? I've never seen it. I've never in my life seen anything like that. Everybody else would cower or run away or stop talking about it or whatever. She's the only one who's like, go ahead and sue. We're waiting. She's not worried at all. I'm telling you, she really is in the perfect position to do what she does. I've never seen anything like it. She's in a great position to do it. So this guy says, I hope every single one is successful and she loses every penny of the 60 plus million she has made selling conspiracy theories and lies since last year. First of all, this guy is an idiot. She didn't make no damn $60 million. Are you crazy? She's made millions, okay? She has not made no dang 60 million. I don't know where this guy is getting this number from. This guy is saying since last year, when he's talking about when Charlie Kirk got shot. So this guy is saying that since last year, when Charlie Kirk got shot, Candace Owens made 60 million. Sorry, guys, but with all due respect, this AG guy is a crackhead, okay? Put the crack pipe down, okay? That's the thing about social media. And this guy has a huge following. Look at this. I don't know who this guy is, but look at how big of a following he has. How does a random crackhead like him get 220,000 followers? Just making stuff up. Just literally making stuff up. Oh my goodness, we got super chats. Thank you so much for the super chat, Rumple Go. Let me go find it. Holy cow, we got a lot of comments. Holy moly. We got 100 people up in here. Thank you guys so much for being in here. I don't know if you guys are new or not, but subscribe and like the video and all that cool stuff if you like what you're listening to. Do we have any record of a successful lawsuit against Candace? No, we do not. No, we do not. That's a great question. Now, a lot of people think that the Macrons are going to win the lawsuit, but I don't. I told you guys what's going to happen. I think it's going to end in a settlement. For those who don't know, most lawsuits end in settlements. Very likely, the Macron lawsuit is going to end in a settlement, which is not really a win, especially depending on how much you settle for. Okay. Let's see. I'm just reading the super chats, then we'll get back to it. Thank you so much for the thank you, Rumple. Man, Rumple Gold. Rumple Gold is making it rain up in here. Thank you, Rumple Gold. You're going crazy. This man is just making it rain with the money because she knows she's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. See, here's the thing. I'm personally not a fan of Mitch Snow, but I still think she'll very likely be fine. I think so. I still think she'll be fine. I actually think this lawsuit is very likely gonna probably get dismissed. That's just my opinion. I think it'll get dismissed. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. I also want to tell you guys something else very interesting. Here, let's actually pull up the lawsuit because Candace is going live in like 8 minutes. So let me just hurry up. I want to show you guys something very interesting that they're doing differently than the Macrones. Did I spell Tennessee wrong? Oh, it's 2 S's. I knew that. I'm just typing too dang fast. Can I find it? Okay, well, I don't know where it is. We're just going to skim through until I find it, but I'm going to talk while I'm looking for it. So this guy is actually suing in Tennessee, guys, which is interesting because remember the Macron lawsuit, they're suing in Delaware. Now, for those who don't know, just so you know, if you were curious, you've got someone who watched you in France if you were ever curious. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's good to know. That is good to know. New here, just saw your headline. Well, thank you, Moonbeam Goddess, for being in here. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. You know, we do the best that we can over here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So Brian Harpole, Charlie Kirk's former security guard, head of security, actually, they are suing in Tennessee. And I want to show you guys something else that was very interesting. I think a lot of people have been reading this wrong. Let me full screen this. So I saw people on social media that are like, why are you suing for $75,000? So you actually might see this on social media. There are quite a few people that are saying that why is Brian Harpole only suing for $75,000? Which, by the way, that would be dumb because lawsuits cost way more than $75. I know people myself. I actually know YouTubers who have been sued. There's one YouTuber that I know. His name is Spencer Cornelia. He had to spend $300,000 just on legal fees for a lawsuit that he won, and he did not get those legal fees back. I also know another YouTuber who had to spend $500,000 to defend himself in his lawsuit. So it really wouldn't make any sense to sue for $75,000, but people are reading it wrong because it clearly says here, this court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action pursuant to 28 USC, blah, 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 because there is complete diversity of citizenship between the parties and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000 exclusive of interest and costs. So what they're saying here is the amount that they're looking for exceeds $75,000. So we have no idea what they're actually looking for. And it doesn't actually say that in the lawsuit. It could be $100,000, you know, it could be it could be $1 million. We have no idea. We really have no idea. Rumple Gold, you have donated so much money. I am reading every single comment you post. Every single comment you post, I'm reading. Rumple Gold is the stream sponsor. Shout out to our stream sponsor, Rumple Gold. I gotta give you a shout out, my boy. You were the stream sponsor. You were making it rain up in here, and I really do appreciate that. I really do. That's very nice of you. Rumple Gold says, please sue her so we can finally put Fort Huachuca doubters to rest because they're annoying. Okay. I agree with you. I actually agree with you. Here because of Candace. She's awesome. Yeah, I'm a fan of Candace too. Matter of fact, let's check. Here, let me close some of these tabs. We need to close some of these tabs. Let's see. Okay, so Candace goes live in 4 minutes. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm streaming this because I'm a fan of Candace too. I mean, I want what's best for her. I already told you guys. Most of you guys know my spiel on why I like Candace so much. I don't think I need to go over it again, but I already went over my spiel on why I like Candace. I've already said that sometimes she gets things wrong, but that's okay. Everybody gets things wrong. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to make mistakes. But I think overall, majority of what she says is correct. And I do find her to be not only credible, but I do think that she's one of the most courageous podcasters out here. That's what I think. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at. Oh, look, Project Constitution is in Candace Owens' stream donating money. Holy guacamole, Rumple Gold. Rumple Gold, you must be rich the amount of money you were sending. You must be rich, man. I'm glad you're watching for her. Love to start so I don't have to. I can listen to you. Oh, yeah, I got you covered. I got you covered. I got you covered, Rumple Gold. Thank you once again for the $5 donation. Rumple Gold, I got to say, man, I think you're breaking the world record. You sent so many super chats, man. I appreciate it, man. You're just so generous. I don't even know what to say. You are officially the stream sponsor, though. Okay, Project Constitution is super chatting Candace Owens right now. So let's go ahead and go to that. I want to read what he's saying. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, Project Constitution sent a super chat. I'm sorry, geez. Project Constitution sent a super chat. He said, have not sent him a cease and desist, I mean. Okay. Let's see. They have sent him a cease and desist. Oh, they have not sent him a cease and desist, nor have served him yet. Also, the case number comes back to a completely different pharmaceutical case. I did see that. So let me break that down, guys, because I know what he's talking about. So there are people on social media, guys, who are saying that the lawsuit against Candace Owens from Brian Harpole is fake. And they're saying the reason why is because that exact same number here, I'll pull it up for you guys. Let me see. Where's the number at? Let me see if I can find it. I don't. Oh, is this it? Yeah, I think it's this number right here. I think it's that number right there. But matter of fact, here, I'll pull up the tweet. I'll tell you what the person said. Somebody tweeted about it. That's how I know about it. Don't worry. I got you guys covered. Let me just find this person real quick. Let me find them. Candace Owens is going live very, very soon. I hope you guys stick around. I will not talk too much. I promise. I will give my commentary because I don't want to steal her content. So I will talk because that's the whole point of me going live, to get commentary. But I will not talk too much. That is the one thing I can tell you guys. I will not talk too much. Okay, I'm trying to find what the person said. I'm mad I can't find it because I literally, you know what? I have too many people on for my Twitter notifications. That's what sucks. So now I got to scroll to find it. Candace is going live in 2 minutes. I wish I could remember that person's name and I could just type it in, but I don't remember their name. Oh, is this it? Okay, I found them. Okay, I'm going to tell you what they said. Yeah, so this person is saying that this lawsuit is fake. Candace Owens is not being sued by Brian Harpole. I think the lawsuit's real, by the way. This person says there is no court document for a lawsuit against Candace Owens from Brian Harpole. What we do have is a document uploaded by Florida attorney Matthew Seth Sarlson, who is a real litigation attorney, to a document sharing site called, okay. So this person is saying that this case number right here is for a defamation lawsuit that's already in use for an unrelated multi-district pharmaceutical litigation. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I have no idea if that's true or not, but that's what people are saying, guys. Okay, Candace Owens is going live any minute, so we're going to leave the stream pulled up. Again, she is being sued by Brian Harpole, so I guess you could kind of call this a Candace Owens watch party. It's basically what we're doing now. Let's see. Until Candace goes live, I guess I'll just read you guys' comments. So let me go back into the stream, and then I'll read some of your comments, and then we'll kind of go from there if my YouTube decides to work. I definitely want to see what you guys are saying because I appreciate you guys for being here. Let's turn that off. I can't even get to my own stream. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're in here. Okay. All right, what you guys got for me? I just got here, so I'm rewinding to see who's the one suing. Brian Harpole. Hey, Just Snooping's in the building. What's up, Just Snooping? Great to see you as always. Can't wait to hear Officer Tatum about this. Okay. Will Candace Owens' husband be deported for living on a visa? I don't think Candace's husband is going to be deported. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Somebody said she's never gone live immediately, even when the Macron sued her. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Echoes, I find it so funny that after 20 minutes of streaming on this channel, you have doubled the amount of viewers you had on the Trump assassination stream. Yeah, Michael, that makes sense, but this is a way bigger channel than my other channel. This channel has almost 30,000 subscribers. The other channel has 2,000, so it makes sense. Are you coming back online after Candace? Just Snooping ass. Just Snooping, what we're actually going to do is I am going to react to Candace Owens' stream right now. If people want to go over and watch Candace Owens herself, you guys are free to do that. Absolutely. But if you want to hear my commentary and watch the stream with me, we can all just kind of do that and hang out. That's kind of what I want to do because I want to give some context to what she's going to say. I want to add a little bit of context and commentary to what she's going to say. I'm actually interested to see what she's going to say. So yeah, I'm just gonna live stream the whole thing. So like I said, we're gonna be here for a little while. We're gonna be hanging out for like a good hour and a half or 2 hours maybe. We've already been live 25 minutes, so that's kind of where we're at. Her husband is a citizen now, not just on a visa. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, this person's right about that. Yeah, Candace Owens' husband did become a U.S. citizen. That's true. He became a U.S. citizen in 2025. I forgot about that. That did happen. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, he became a U.S. citizen. He became a U.S. citizen in 2025. So there you go. He is definitely a citizen. We're all just waiting for Candace now. Let's see what these super chats are saying. $50 to Candace Owens. $5 to Candace Owens. Okay, people are just donating. Nobody's really saying anything. They're just donating. I mean, I don't think you guys understand how easily Candace Owens can raise money. Like, she could literally sell t-shirts. Like, she could do anything. She could start a Gibson Go. She can sell t-shirts. You know, she can do pretty much anything to raise money. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like Candace is going live yet. So here, let me put my headphones in so when she does go live, I can hear her. And we're going to read a little bit of the lawsuit. Let's just read a little bit of the lawsuit while we're waiting on Candace. Why not? This looks like a real lawsuit to me. So you can see Nashville Division, the United States District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee. So they're not suing in Delaware like the Macrones are. They are suing in Tennessee. Tennessee is a harder state to sue in than Delaware because of the way that the laws are written. So this lawsuit is going to be very interesting. So they're suing Candace Owens LLC, Georgetown Inc., and Mitchell Snow. Plaintiff Brian Harpole hereby sues defendants Candace Owens, Mitchell Snow for defamation and conspiracy to defame. Conspiracy to defame. Have you guys ever heard of it? I have never heard of that. We all know what defamation is, but what the heck is conspiracy to defame? I have never heard that. Is that a state thing in Tennessee? Let me see. I want to see if that's a federal or state thing. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, wow. Okay. So the reason why he's suing for conspiracy to defame is because there are two or more parties involved. Because Candace Owens and Mitchell Snow are involved in this, he's able to sue for conspiracy to defame. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, Candace Owens show is starting very, very soon. Oh, wow. Okay. So he's suing for two different things. All right, well, Candace Owens show is starting, so we're just going to go to it, and we're just going to get ready for it. Dinosaurs are fake and gay. Okay. I think everybody's just donating to the lawsuit. People are just randomly donating and not leaving any comments. Pink Singer says, I'm over here watching as I make my family some dinner. Very nice. Very nice. Just got the notification for Candace. Yep. Yep. I did not mean to do that. Oh, yeah, her birthday did just pass. Happy birthday to her for sure. Yeah, her birthday did pass. Everybody's saying, hello, Discovery. I genuinely have no idea what is going to happen to Turning Point. What's your prediction for the future? Not scared of the truth, even if it hurts. Yep, here we go. Here we go.
All right, you guys, man, oh man, so much to unpack today. First and foremost, I woke up this morning and I was highly upset. I had a little bit of a yesterday news hangover. I realized that I'm actually so not okay with what Erica Kirk did. She essentially put a target on my back by wrongly asserting that I accused her of murdering her husband. I don't think we can let that fly, right? No, her punishment is going to be more truth. I always say she is sentenced to more truth, and I have been keeping a little secret, and it's time for me to reveal it. Also,
Turning up the volume
I
now.
am getting the sense that
There
there
we
is
go.
something happening, something big happening. It feels like people are upping the crazy a little bit. Something is coming undone in the background. And on that note, the big news of the day is guess who crawled from under his rock, apparently, and sent me a full-blown lawsuit. Yes, Brian Harpole. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that that would grant me, your girl, the power of subpoena. Let's get started. Welcome back to Candace.
It might grant her the power of subpoena, guys, but it depends on how the lawsuit goes. It depends. She could get it dismissed. They can settle. Lawsuits take years to play out. So it really depends.
So let me back up. I was standing in Charlotte Airport about to board my flight to Italy last week, and I received an email. Me and my lawyers received an email. It was randomly sent to us. It was something like a retraction demand, but it wasn't actually a retraction demand because his lawyer, Brian Harpole's lawyer, asserted at the top right away that they were already going to file the lawsuit no matter what in 4 days. This was kind of just a nice heads up that these are our claims that we will be making. What? How curious. What do you mean? You never communicated with me, you never spoke, you never issued any sort of retraction demand, you never answered me when I reached out. This is not at all how it normally goes. I mean, I'm pretty accustomed to how lawsuits work. In fact, I can tell you that's never gone like this, ever, for me. You send, hey, that's what you said is not right, retract it, or else I am going to sue you. Brian Harpole did no such thing. Okay. So before I tell you why I believe he is doing this, and again, this is my opinion, because this is a very curious strategy, I'm going to at first take you through some of the highlights of the demand, which was poorly organized, but it is really just kind of summarizes the actual lawsuit, which he has now filed. In other words, I want you to understand he had the lawsuit prepared first before he sent me this notification type demand, okay? Pardon me. I also want to mention, because it feels important, that Brian Harpole is using the same lawyer the Daily Wire used to sue me in arbitration for 2 years straight. I'm not going to name the firm, even though the lawyer is publicly tweeting and also has a YouTube channel, so it's not hard to find.
Yeah, I did a little bit of background and research into that lawyer, guys. That lawyer does have ties to the Daily Wire. That lawyer also has ties to Laura Loomer. So you can see which side that guy's on, right? So yeah, she's right about that. And I'm shocked she hasn't said this. He has ties to Laura Loomer. Like, him and her have tweeted at each other, and he's like very pro Laura Loomer, which says a lot about this lawyer.
But I will just say that's another coincidence. I'm very tired of this guy altogether, mostly because he speaks like he's consumed helium. Anyway, let's get into Brian Harpole's stated grievances, okay? First up, he wants to sue me. He's suing me for maligning him when I suggested, when I stated that not having an ambulance on standby is inappropriate. It's wrong. I'm not kidding. This is what was written. It reads, in your podcast episode titled, Why is Everyone Crashing Out Over the Charlie Kirk Investigation? You maligned Kirk's security team, including Mr. Harpole, by stating, quote, in real life, when you spend millions of dollars on security, on your security detail, they don't have you sitting like a duck and forget to have an ambulance behind you. This statement not only incorrectly calls into question the competence of Mr. Harpole and his team, but it defames Mr. Harpole by falsely accusing him and his team of criminal negligence by failing to render aid to Kirk after he was shot. Okay, so competence is a matter of opinion, Brian. I don't believe you can sue people for thinking that you're stupid or that you're ugly or that you're fat. I don't believe I can sue Trump for thinking Brigitte is the most beautiful woman in the world, more beautiful than me at the very least. It's not even close, as he says. And I don't think I can sue Trump for making the repeated claim that he views me as someone that is low IQ. So I don't know that competence is really a claim. Also, I would argue that it is almost a matter of fact that a security team that is paid many millions of dollars annually should have had an ambulance on standby at an event, especially when it was a part of their normal repertoire to do so. Is everybody forgetting? I used to work for Turning Point USA. I'm fairly certain that almost probably at each and every one of my many events that I have done with Turning Point USA during a time period when Brian Harpole was always a member of the security team, we had an ambulance on standby. So that actually felt exceptional to me. It is not my opinion that it is my opinion that not having one on standby, especially when the person that you are providing executive protection to texts you guys the night before and says, "I think I'm going to be killed." It's my opinion that it demonstrates professional incompetence not to have an ambulance on standby in case anything happens. Sorry, Brian. I most certainly did not accuse you of criminal negligence. That term did not come from this podcast. In fact, I hadn't even thought of that term until you put it all over a lawsuit. So we should just look that up and see what the definition is. I did. It says definition of criminal negligence is a reckless disregard for human life or a gross deviation from the standard of care that a reasonable person would observe, resulting in serious harm or death. Okay. Unlike civil negligence, it is a crime prosecuted by the state, often leading to imprisonment, involuntary manslaughter charges, or major felonies. Okay. Thank you for introducing us to that legal term, Brian. What else is Brian upset about? Well, I would argue that the next point actually demonstrates incompetence. Okay. Brian wants to sue me for something that I literally never said about him. Mind you, this was actually the very first point of the letter. It was dizzying. It reads, it is in your podcast episode titled Charlie's Angels or Demons, you implied that Charlie Kirk's security team, including Mr. Harpole, had insider knowledge about Kirk's assassination. Specifically, you questioned how the security team knew that Charlie Kirk was dead before official confirmation. The false and defamatory nature of this statement is obvious, as it implies that Mr. Harpole and his security team not only had foreknowledge of the assassination, but were also complicit in it. Want to know the truth? In that particular episode, we never mentioned Brian Harpole or referred to him even once. The episode, as it implies, is about specifically Charlie's chief of staff and Terrell Farnsworth, the head of the AV team. The specific quotation to which he's referring to is about Terrell Farnsworth, because it was Terrell Farnsworth who notoriously announced in a selfie video that Charlie Kirk was dead like 2 minutes after Charlie went down. So when no one could have possibly known Charlie was dead. Okay. My full quotation, which for some reason is not included, was, what were Charlie's closest friends and allies and the people that were going to carry on the torch at Turning Point USA doing? Oh, they were picking up phone calls like Mikey McCoy. They were already filming themselves prematurely announcing Charlie is dead, but not a single person could have known that Charlie Kirk was dead. End quote. That is a factual quotation referring to the immediate actions taken by Mikey McCoy and Terrell Farnsworth. Thank you, Brian. I hope that clears that matter up. What else do you have? It looks like this next one is a bit of a double punch. He wants to sue me for describing his outfit, foremost, you'll see. And then he wants to sue me for having ears and a general sense of comprehension, I guess. Like I'm able to comprehend the words that are coming out of people's mouths. I took notice that, as many people did, that there were conflicting statements made by Turning Point USA on that day. Now, there may be a valid excuse for those discrepancies in messaging. However, you cannot punish the public for noticing them. Okay, I'm referring to the drones. So this claim reads, in your podcast episode entitled "The Great Exodus from Utah," you again falsely claimed that Mr. Harpole failed to render aid to Kirk after he was shot, but this time you incorrectly claimed that Harpole failed to render effective aid to Kirk with his supposed to be medical bag. Okay. Later in the episode, you falsely accused Mr. Harpole of lying about drone availability, asking, is that how these assassinations happen? Together, these statements defame Mr. Harpole by accusing him of being a direct cause of Kirk's assassination. Mr. Harpole did not play a role in Kirk's assassination and did everything he could to render aid and assist Kirk after he was shot. Okay, so to address that obscure medical bag claim, the full quotation from my episode is just a mere description of Brian Harpole and his medical bag. I said exactly, quote, Brian is the one who then runs over to Charlie. And again, you recognize him because he kind of has that small, supposed to be medical bag over him. I'm completely confused as to how that description is in any way defamatory. I just wanted to alert viewers to the fact that he was not just wearing a man purse and it was supposed to be a medical bag. That's it. Now, regarding the drones, Brian Harpole's statement flew in direct contradiction to the statement that was given by Frank Turek. Okay, that's confusing for the public. Take a listen.
I spent thousands of dollars on drones last year and got the guy's license. But if the area lies in the Provo, Utah airspace, I can't fly it. That's a 107B. We can't break the rules. Right? And then you had secondary restrictions, probably due to heavy foot traffic for the school. But I can't go in and break the rules.
Anyway, on our way in, we had drone footage of the crowd building. And Charlie had it on his phone. I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There are too many buildings. Charlie just kind of brushed it off because, look, we have a security team and he wasn't going to cancel an event.
So we're driving in, Megan, and his team has drones up looking at the crowd from above, and they text him some video. And there's thousands of people there an hour before the start. And I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There's too many buildings.
Now, again, there very much could be a clear reason as to why these statements are conflicting, but you can't be mad at the public for noticing that the statements are conflicting. Also, did anybody actually fact check Brian Harpole's earlier point? Because I did. He says, well, I can't break the rules. You can't fly drones in Provo airspace. Well, I actually spoke to someone regarding that who has good knowledge of the rules regarding Provo airspace. And he said, yeah, you can't fly in Provo airspace, meaning around airports. You would have to get clearance. You can't fly near hangars, but you can fly drones in Provo. So his whole excuse of why he didn't even bring drones, we should probably take a second glance at. Again, this is according to a pilot who I know who's in charge of drone training. So a lot doesn't seem to be adding up there. You can clarify that, but you can't pretend that someone tried to defame you unless you're going to go after Frank Turek. Anyway, let's actually pivot to the lawsuit because it is remarkable. Okay, the lawsuit itself is 69 pages, and for some unknown reason, he begins the lawsuit, and I'm talking like the first few pages with strong support for Israel. I guess that's mandatory. Candace is anti-Semitic, just even though Brian Harpole's not Jewish. I am not Jewish. Charlie was not Jewish. He mentions this just kind of sporadically in a paragraph where he's painting this picture that I'm a conspiracy theorist. They also mention, we can bring this up here on point 19, that I don't believe the moon landing. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I think the moon landing was fake. I'm not sure what this has to do with anything. If I'm required to believe the moon.
I'm sorry. We actually got to pause this again. I got to give my commentary. Otherwise, I'm just stealing her content. So don't get mad at me for pausing it. But yeah, why is this? Why is this in the lawsuit? Owens has used her podcast and social media accounts to platform baseless and malicious conspiracies, such as Brigitte Macron, the first lady, is secretly transgender. Hey, they're look. You guys know the thing about that. It might be true. The moon landing was fake. That's possible. I don't think it was fake, but it's very possible. These aren't even really conspiracies. And a slew of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, but not limited to. Okay, so basically in the lawsuit, they're hoping they get a Jewish lawyer. That's what they're hoping for. They want a Jewish lawyer. They want a Zionist lawyer who's going to sympathize with this and be like, all right, you get the judgment. That's what it seems like. Because, here's something else. And I don't know if Candace Owens is going to address this, guys. But they also said in the lawsuit, I skimmed it earlier, they said that Candace Owens is not a journalist. And the reason why they said that is because you have a lot less protections legally if you're not a journalist versus if you are. So they are definitely doing things in this lawsuit to discredit her even more. It's very interesting. Holy cow, Rumple go with another $5 donation. Jeez. I can't wait for the day Candace is revealed to be right about everything and all our haters have to eat their words. Well, here's the deal, Rumble Gold. She's not going to be right about everything. Nobody's right about everything. She's going to get things wrong. It's literally like Alex Jones. But she is going to be right about a lot. I do agree. I know what you're saying. You can't wait for the day she's vindicated and it comes out that basically everything she's been saying has been correct. I agree with you there. Yes. That day will probably come soon.
Moon landing is real.
In the future.
But he just kind of mentions that. And then, you got to have that random strong support for Israel right at the top, which is why also embedded is the mandatory picture of Bibi Netanyahu. You got to let these people know where you stand on Israel before you even get into the substance of a lawsuit. So I appreciate that preamble. That's just called our standard constitutional preamble. He's with Israel. Okay, cool. I'm going to do that when I respond. I'm going to say, I just want you to know, I love Israel. Just saying that. I now want to draw your attention to the obscure argument that he is making. So just pages and pages of him just kind of painting a picture of who I am. But he comes out and kind of makes this obscure argument that he is a private citizen. Okay, that's point 29. He's trying to assert that he is a private citizen.
Oh, here we go.
Let's take a look at this. Despite 2 podcast appearances, Harpole remains a private individual and not a limited purpose public figure. He has social media accounts that he does not use for posting content. He has no public platforms to effectively rebut or counteract statements.
And again, guys, for those who don't know, they're doing this on purpose because remember, I told you, it is very hard to win a defamation lawsuit as a public figure. So the reason why they're even suing Candace Owens in the first place is because they're trying to say that, hey, this is a private citizen. He's not a public figure, which in that case, if the court ruled that, or the judge ruled, or they consider him to be a private citizen, this lawsuit would be a lot more difficult for Candace Owens to win, which is why he's doing it. So yeah, this is going to be interesting.
And his involvement in the controversy is limited to 2 defensive appearances. He did not seek publicity or attempt to influence public debate. Huh? I'm sorry. First and foremost, why is he doing that? That's very important. Let's get to why he is trying to assert it. I know I went on Sean Ryan, but I'm a private citizen. That's because he doesn't want to have to meet the actual malice standard, right? You're a public figure. You have to meet the actual malice standard. Meaning you have to prove that I knowingly published something that was false and that I did it and acted in total disregard to the truth. I knew what the truth was, and I said, I don't care. I'm going to publish this. It's a hard standard to meet. That would be, in my view, for Brian to assert that he's not a public figure here, that would be hard because Brian did actually go and pursue not just any podcast, okay?
Sean Ryan.
One of the top podcasts in the world, the Sean Ryan podcast, and he opened himself up. What is the law in the books when you do that? The rule is that private citizens can indeed become limited purpose public figures when they voluntarily thrust themselves into the forefront of a particular public controversy to influence its outcome. In such cases, they are considered public figures only for the context of that specific issue and for a limited time. That's exactly what Brian Harpole did. Okay, he went and he's going to argue, well, I did it defensively. You went on a public platform and you gave information about what the security did, all these questions that were being asked. And you're going to claim, which he does, this is wild, that the reason he went on Sean Ryan, this is crazy to me. He is saying that the reason he went on Sean Ryan was because of me. That is beyond. Okay, let's look at this point 28. On November 17th, after Owens and other conspiracy theorists had already
I just want to make sure everybody understands what's going on. You guys know what she's saying, right? Basically, Brian Harpole is trying to say that he's not a limited purpose public figure. He's a private citizen. But what Candace Owens is pointing out, which is true, you can Google this. If you thrust yourself voluntarily in the public, you automatically become a limited purpose public figure under defamation law. So he actually screwed himself by going on Sean Ryan's podcast. So when Candace fights the lawsuits, her lawyers are going to say, I don't know what this guy's talking about. He went on one of the biggest podcasts in the world and said all this information. Thus, now everybody knows his name. That doesn't sound like somebody who's trying to be a private citizen to me. That actually sounds like somebody who wants to be a public figure and probably leverage, that publicity to help out his other business ventures or just advance his career. So he's absolutely going to lose this. He's going to be treated as a public figure because he himself made himself a public figure.
Implicated Harpole and his team in the assassination. Harpole appeared on the Sean Ryan show solely to respond to and to rebut the defamatory statements. I'm sorry, what? That's going to be a tricky one to prove in court, considered I never once mentioned Brian Harpole on my show until after he went on Sean Ryan. Literally, not once did I mention Brian Harpole's name on my podcast. I mentioned his name 2 days after he went on Sean Ryan, and it was in direct response to his disastrous appearance on Sean Ryan. His appearance was on November 17th. The first time I mentioned him on this show was on November 19th. In other words, you elected yourself as a spokesperson for the security team, thereby making yourself a public figure, and I responded to it, okay? Here's where it gets even crazier, though. Him pretending that I was a part of the early conspiracies against him. I did not believe the early conspiracies against Brian Harpole. Okay, not only that, I went through great lengths to defend both Brian Harpole and Dan Flood without mentioning their names because I didn't want the public to find them when all the early conspiracies started flying. Specifically, the conspiracies were about hand signals. You remember? Frank Turk's doing hand signals. It looks like Dan Flood's doing hand signals. It looks like Brian Harpole is doing hand signals behind his back, and they're all looped in. I didn't believe it. I genuinely didn't believe it. I didn't believe any of these people had anything to do with anything because I knew Turning Point. And so I spoke to Andrew Kovit on the phone about how I did not believe any of that. And Andrew asked me if I would be willing to say something publicly on my podcast to that effect because they were getting hammered. And I said, of course I will. These are good guys. Here is the text message that I sent to Andrew Kovit following that discussion on the phone. I said, also, yes, I will say something about the security. I know them well, which is why I never bought into people saying that he was making signals. And guess what I did, guys? On that very same day in September, on this podcast, I defended the security team and Dan Flood and said that they were good people. Here are my words. No, there's a lot of conspiracy theories floating in about the security guard and people thinking he was making gestures. I know that security person. He's a good guy. It would shock me. I usually get a vibe about somebody. Not that guy. Not the guy that they say he's like rolling up. He tends to do that, roll up his sleeves. I don't buy that one. Okay. I don't buy that one. Wow. You're saying you went on Sean Ryan because of things that I was saying, and that's what I was saying. Again, it was because of his behavior and what he said on Sean Ryan's show, which I found to be unconvincing, which is he's suing me for saying that interview was unconvincing, which made me feel weird and take a second look. This has been a very natural process for me. I did not come into this guns a-blazing, so to speak, against Turning Point USA. And to get to this bigger part, this really feels to me like one big PR move, okay? It feels like he's kind of trying to pull the Blake Lively. He wants to make the claim that he's not a public figure. And that's specifically because a large chunk of his claims are pertaining to Mitch Snow, who he is also suing, by the way. And what is not helpful to his claims to sue me and Mitch Snow is the fact that I reached out to Brian Harpole personally before I featured Mitch Snow on this podcast.
Oh, she's cooking. She's cooking. She's going to win this lawsuit, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. She's probably going to try and get this lawsuit dismissed, and I think she's going to win. I mean, it sounds like she did everything right. She tried to reach out to him. He didn't respond. She wasn't talking about Brian Harpole at all until Brian Harpole went on the Sean Ryan show. After Brian Harpole went on the Sean Ryan show, she started picking apart some of the things he said because it didn't make any sense. And again, I keep saying this, guys, Candace Owens has become the target, but she wasn't the only person or the main person even. There are other people with huge followings who are doing the exact same thing as her, but she's like the poster child now of this stuff. Like everybody just puts it as if everything's on her, but there's a lot of people who believe it's not just her. But based on everything that she said, yeah, this lawsuit is it's going to be interesting. I don't know why this guy's suing. I'm wondering if the lawyers took it on contingency, which for those who don't know what that means, basically you don't have to pay us anything. If we win, then we get some of the profits of, you know, the judgment or the settlement. I'm really wondering if that's what happened, because I just don't see how you can win this lawsuit given everything that Candace just said.
Okay. So the story goes that on November 8th, I at first mentioned that there was someone who thought that they saw Brian Harpole at Fort Huachuca, that I, examined the person's documents, whatever. I found him to be credible, as in I believed he said where he said he was, when he said he was. It was a solo episode on December 9th. And if you recall, it caused mass panic. So I was intending to interview Mitch Snow, and then craziness started, right? Erica Kirk did her just stop tour. She's out there saying, stop. Privately, I was effectively being threatened behind the scenes not to speak to Mitch Snow. They knew I wanted to interview him, and someone reached out to me, and this was coming through Paramount Tactical and the Valhalla guy. And they were saying, if you do this, if you interview Mitch wasn't even in the military. They're running a different direction. He's a complete fraud. He's never been to Fort Huachuca.
Okay, this is interesting. Again, guys, I got to break this stuff down because these are, first of all, I like Valhalla VFT. For those who don't know what she's talking about Valhalla VFT, and she's talking about a guy named Gary with Paramount Tactical. Gary with Paramount Tactical hates Candace Owens. As far as I'm concerned, Valhalla VFT, I don't really know if he likes Candace Owens, but he definitely agrees with a lot of what Candace Owens says. I think he actually might like her, but either way, he agrees with a lot of what she says. So I wonder why she said that Valhalla VFT and Gary with Paramount Tactical, I don't even think they're aligned, but maybe they are. Maybe that's something that I didn't know. Based on what they say, though, they seem to be on two complete opposite sides, because Valhalla VFT actually thinks that there's something deeper to Charlie Kirk's murder than the official narrative. And he thinks that the FBI and all these other people are lying. And he's been doing a really good job pointing out a lot of the inconsistencies. That's actually one of the big YouTubers that I was talking about when I said that Candace Owens is not the only one talking about this stuff. Valhalla VFT is one of them as well. So that would be a very interesting pair if Valhalla VFT and Gary with Paramount Tactical, which, by the way, Gary literally has Candace Owens derangement syndrome. Like, his entire channel is doing live streams and videos and bringing people on who hate Candace Owens. And every single video is just, I hate Candace Owens. I hate Candace Owens. I hate her. I hope her life is ruined. However, they're both military guys. So maybe they reached out to her individually. Maybe Gary reached out and Mitch Snow reached out and said, hey, you got to be careful with this guy, because both of them were in the military. As a matter of fact, I think Valhalla VFT was actually like a Green Beret or something like that. He was some sort of special forces. But let's keep going.
And if you actually interview Mitch, Brian Harpole, where he's going to sue you. That's what came down the pipeline to me. So before I even got to do the interview, Brian Harpole was telling people to say that if I interview this guy, I'm going to sue you. And I thought that was completely deranged. I said, well, this is crazy. Brian Harpole has my number. Why is he sending out these random YouTubers? He knows who I am. I've defended him on his podcast. So I reached out to him before we hosted Mitch Snow to get his fuller story and to say, hey, you're welcome to tell me that you just weren't there. Like, what's up? We don't have to, like, I don't want to host this guy. Like, why are you being all weird? I asked him then beyond that if he wanted to clarify anything. I sent Brian Harpole, I think, a total of 4 messages. And I also sent Dan Flood a message. Again, from the day before or 2 days before I interviewed Mitch Snow through to January, trying to get him to just say yes or no. And he actually remarkably embeds these many messages to him in the lawsuit. And that's going to be point 54 to 55. He just embeds these into the lawsuit. Hi, Brian, this is Candace Owens. A lot of people are telling me that you're planting seeds regarding a lawsuit. I wanted to see if you wanted to have an off-record discussion with me about anything, or if you'd like to simply clarify something that you think that I got wrong. You can see I followed up on December 19th. Hi, Brian, just again, reaching out in case you want to clarify your whereabouts on the morning of September 9th. I'm only interested in the truth. So I would be happy to debunk Mitch if he perhaps is misremembering the faces that he saw. No response. I think they also put a third message in there. I don't know if you can scroll and see that, or if that's not attached yet. But like I said, multiple messages that I sent him, he just didn't answer. So why? Why didn't Brian Harpole simply respond? Why didn't you send a cease and desist a long time ago? Why did you ask me for a retraction? Here's another one. Hey, Brian, reaching out again to see if you'd be willing to speak about the morning of the 9th. I'm obviously not trying to do anything other than debunk Mitch so I can pivot and refocus the investigation, but I oddly cannot get you to confirm or deny if you were there. He's acknowledging he received these messages and he chose not to respond. Again, why? Oh, lucky for us, he's going to explain it in the lawsuit. And this is the wildest point of all. It's actually insane. It's an insane reason. In my view, it's insane to assert that this is the reason that you did not respond to my 3 messages to you, 1 message to Dan Flood. This is his point number 50. Ready? Point number 59, I think it is. Here we go. Owens soon texted Harpole a 3rd time, asking again if he would like to speak about the events that transpired on the morning of September 9th. Owens concluded her text message by stating that she found it odd that she could not get Harpole to confirm or deny his location on the morning of September 9th. Owens already knew why Harpole didn't respond. Her repeated texts to Harpole to get him to respond to the defamatory conspiracy theories that she had been promoting present a cynical attempt to profit from a situation that she had manufactured. By spreading defamatory lies about Harpole and then cajoling him to give her the exclusive content of a response, she stood to profit from increased attention and viewership to her platform at Harpole's expense. So he didn't reply with a yes or no because he didn't want to give me an exclusive yes or no, because then I would have made money on my platform. I didn't ask you for an exclusive. It would have put an end to me covering the story beyond. So actually, by not responding before I hosted Mitch, it didn't stop me from hosting Mitch. You also could have told Sean Ryan. You could have said, hey, Sean Ryan, I'm going to come on your platform because I don't want Candace to make any money saying yes or no. I don't want to give her this exclusive content. We're supposed to believe that's the reason? What, are we born yesterday? That's the reason? You didn't want me to make money? So you said, I'm just going to be so stressed out. I'm never going to say anything to her. This is in December. I'm actually going to wait until April. And then in April, I'm going to say, I'm just filing a lawsuit. I'm just filing a lawsuit. That doesn't ring true. That does not ring very true. Now, another interesting point of the lawsuit is he repeatedly claims that he's upset that I described him as having lied. Okay, well, you certainly lied by severe omission by not letting the viewers know that the text message that you were presenting on Sean Ryan were not between you and the UVU police chief Long, right? Like when people were going, why didn't you secure the rooftops? You presented this text chain as if it was yours. In fact, you explicitly say the implication being that this is the reason I did not secure the roof.
Hey, to Maggie Mango, I got you covered. So Brian Harpole, head of security for Charlie Kirk, filed a lawsuit today. His lawyer actually announced it. He said, I am filing a lawsuit on behalf of my client, Brian Harpole, and the internet went crazy. And now Candace Owens is explaining her side of it and why this lawsuit is complete BS. And she's basically showing that why he's not going to win and explaining all the steps that she took to give him a chance to clear the record. What Candace is saying, let me change this frame. What Candace is saying is that, dude, why are you suing me? I gave you every chance in the world to defend yourself. And she even put up a text message that said, hey, I would love to debunk Mitch Snow, but you got to help me do it. He's saying things about you. I'm a journalist. I find him to be credible, but I'm reaching out to you to let me know, is what he's saying false? You know, can you kind of clarify some things? I have some questions. And he didn't respond because he let his personal feelings get in the way. He's like, oh, I don't like her. And I didn't, you know, so Candace is like, dude, I gave you every opportunity. You can sue if you want, but it's not going to go too well for you because 1, you're a public figure. You're not a private citizen. And 2, I gave you every chance in the world. So that's basically what happened.
This text message is the reason. Take a listen to what he said.
On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof? And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back, and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, I've got this area.
What else am I to do? He is heavily implying that I did what I had to do. I texted him. He said he had it covered. What else am I to do? And then we revealed on the show that those aren't even his messages. Those are Dan Flood's messages. And he admits that finally in this lawsuit, that those are Dan Flood's messages. That was not an honest presentation to say, what else am I supposed to do if you were not even on that text chain? So yeah, I view that to be a lie by severe omission. I think the average person, a jury pool, will say, yeah, no, that sounds like you were involved in this text chain, and your excuse for why you did not secure the rooftops was because of this text chain. You never said, Dan got these messages. Here's what Dan said back. And what is so shocking about this is that throughout this lawsuit, he explicitly lies, that the lawyer explicitly lies in this filing by claiming that I asserted over and over again that Mitch Snow was telling the truth about Harpole, when in fact, no, I went through a great many pains to repeatedly assert publicly that I could not confirm that he saw Harpole. Okay, here is just one of many examples on my podcast. This is actually when I interviewed Mitch Snow, where I said, I can't confirm who you saw. Take a listen.
And I want to be clear, I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there, that there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca currently. I can confirm everything with metadata. I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw.
I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. And like I said it repeatedly. And even in this filing, in his own legal filing, Brian's lawyer accuses me of confirming Mitch's claim, while in the very next paragraph, he presents proof that I didn't confirm Mitch's claim. This is point 63. I mean, this lawsuit is a dizzying read. He says, on December 23rd, Owens posted to X, Fort Huachuca confirmed. The body of the post claimed that she had proof that Snow was telling the truth about Harpole, and contained a screenshot of what Owens claims to be the incident report from Snow's visit to Fort Huachuca. Did he read my post? My post right here says, find your favorite podcaster who joined the psychological operation to convince you that Mitch was lying about having been at Fort Huachuca. Remember, Mitch said he was at first taken outside by Captain Neff and questioned for a long time. I then recap what happened. I said I always believed Mitch's story of what happened on that morning because he supplied overwhelming evidence with metadata and timestamps. Now we have the incident report. What we cannot confirm as of yet is his memory of who he is convinced he saw coming out of that early morning meeting. We cannot confirm Matt Sarlson. We cannot confirm. What is this? What is this? What are we to make of all of this? What are we to make of this filing? What do you think is the purpose of this filing? I'll give you my thoughts, my questions rather. I can't know what is going on behind the scenes. I think the timing of this is strange. Like I said, the strategy here to never actually ask me to retract, to never present any evidence To the contrary, hey, Candace, here's my receipt. I was getting a Starbucks at 9 a.m. I was therefore not at Fort Huachuca, or getting a Starbucks at 7:30 when that meeting was happening. Could any of that? Never did this, okay? I can tell you, though, via my experience with defamation, is that there are a lot of lawsuits that are filed because people don't understand that what you put in a lawsuit filing is not always true, as I just demonstrated to you, right? You can write whatever you want, and people tend to take everything that's filed as a fact. They just go, oh, well, like case in point, Brigitte said I was a dual citizen of the UK. Suddenly people start saying I'm not a dual citizen of the UK. It's not a fact. Okay. So you can just put stuff in a lawsuit. And I have seen over and over again examples of people filing lawsuits as PR strategies. I lived that with the Kim Klacik lawsuit. I said, she was a former stripper, blah, blah, blah. She said, I am not. So she files this lawsuit and then says, this is proof that it's not true because I'm filing a lawsuit. And people then started, oh, well, it must be true. She's filing a lawsuit. So, and then what ended up happening was she took it to discovery and then she folded, right? She folded and wanted to sign an agreement and say, let's walk away and not talk about it. When we started presenting the evidence of the strippers that worked with her and knew her, it was like, okay, actually, this was just meant to be a PR thing, actually. And so I could keep claiming that this wasn't true.
Yep.
I've seen that happen before. Okay. Is this that? Is this someone going, I just want to be able to get people to think that by filing this lawsuit means I'm telling the truth? I'm saying in this lawsuit that I wasn't at Fort Huachuca.
That's exactly what he's doing. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think more lawsuits are going to file. I don't know why Erica Kirk hasn't sued yet. I have no idea. I know everybody's saying because she's worried about discovery, and maybe that's true. And don't get me wrong. I actually don't think Erica Kirk is going to sue, but I do think there may be other people who may sue along with Brian Harpole. I think what's going to happen is a little bit of a coordinated attack against Candace. That's kind of what I think where they're going here. And I do agree that the lawsuit is a PR lawsuit, because where did this guy even come from? Like, when's the last time anybody mentioned Brian Harpole? That was like months ago. And I want to cover the lawsuit after this stream because there's a part in there where Brian Harpole alleges that Candace Owens affected his money. Like he lost business opportunities and different things like that because of what Candace said. I'm like, dude, like you're not the main character. Like I think you're like a blip. It's like people talked about you for like 5 minutes and everybody just gave it because nobody really cares that much, man. Like we're more focused on like Erica Kirk and some of the other people. Like you weren't that big of a deal. So some of the things that he's alleging, I'm just trying to figure out where he even came from. Like, when's the last time? Folks haven't talked about Brian Harpole since December of 2025. Literally nobody talks about that guy anymore. It's like all Erica Kirk. So that's what makes it even funnier that he's suing. And I'm really wondering why now, you know?
Why else would I file a lawsuit? That's mean now everybody can just let the Fort Huachuca story go because I said it. Like I said that Candace said things that she didn't say. Like I asserted that Candace was a part of the early conspiracies when actually the exact opposite thing is true. I'm just going to put stuff in here and then I'm going to hand it to journalists, which is what they do. And journalists are going to publish this and say, proof that he wasn't at Fort Huachuca because why else would he file a lawsuit? But maybe there's an expectation that it's never going to make it through the court system, that you're never actually going to have to present any proof of anything because the judge is going to look at this and go, no, she asked you multiple times. I'm going to throw this away.
That's what I think.
Is that the expectation? Again, I'm asking questions here. This feels weird to me. The strategy here feels weird to me. You're dealing with a lawyer that has full access to my lawyers in the state of Tennessee, has been in communication with them for 2 years. He never raises a single issue until the end of April and then says, doesn't matter if we're filing a lawsuit. Is this a PR move? And if it is, how do we respond to it? Well, I obviously just received this lawsuit a couple of hours ago, and I am not therefore at liberty to assert what we will or will not do because I have to speak with my husband, and I haven't had the time to, formally plead my case with him, so to speak. But what I will say is, how many opportunities are we going to have? Or are we ever going to have another opportunity to force depositions? Are we ever going to have an opportunity to have the power of subpoena? He is making claims that he rendered first aid. this would give us the opportunity to then say, oh, Terrell Farnsworth actually has footage that the public has never seen from every angle. We can now take a look. We want to see this footage and subpoena this footage so that we can see what happened on the ground if you are asserting that you did provide critical aid. Will we ever have an opportunity to do this ever again? Can we look at this situation where you're saying, oh, this conspiracy, all these people are involved. You're bringing up Terrell Farnsworth, Mikey McCoy. You're bringing up these episodes where we discussed Erica. Can we now sit these people for a deposition? Can we now demand these text messages? He's saying there's no conspiracy here. Can we now say, okay, well, we'd like to discover that. We'd like to actually look at all of the evidence and be able to come up with an argument. And we're going to need access. We're going to need access to everybody's text messages if that's what you are asserting. If you are saying that I have defamed you and you are a part of the Turning Point USA brand, you're saying, you're mentioning Erica Kirk. Is this the only plausible path that we will have before us to get Erica Kirk to sit for deposition? To answer basic questions that we've been asking for actually a very long time. If that's the claim that you are making regarding there being no conspiracy, is the power of subpoena actually going to be our only way? I'd like to hear your guys' positions on this, but I have never been doing this for fun. Charlie Kirk is dead. We have been told a lot of lies, a lot of inconsistent stories from the people that are around him. They are, I would say, especially in this last month, there seems to be sort of a ramped up effort to attack people who have been asking for the truth in a reasonable fashion over and over again, extending messages to Brian. Hey, come on the show if you'd like to. I actually didn't even ask him to come on the show. I said, you could just tell me what the truth is and I'll report on that. And they don't want to do that. You don't jump and skip and then file a lawsuit. That's not normal. That is abnormal. That's not the normal trend. People genuinely want to not have the wrong information out there. So they ask you to retract the statements that you are making. Something's not right here. I get a sense that this feels like, well, we tried to answer about Fort Huachuca. It was a very serious lawsuit, but defamation's hard. That was what Kim Klacik said. Defamation's hard. So that's why I have a lawsuit failed. But as you can see, I'm telling the truth because I filed the lawsuit. I think we have to think on this. I have to talk to my husband. I do think that this really may be the only opportunity that anybody who deeply cares about this case and genuinely wants truth will have to be able to subpoena that information. The power of subpoena is, well, it's a power. It is a tool. And I've only ever been interested in getting to the truth of what happened to Charlie Kirk on September 10th. So we will pause there and then I will break some news to you guys after this brief break. All right, you guys, time.
Oh, she's got some news. See, this is the good thing about pausing the videos. I can skip the ad and we could get right on to this breaking news she's about to give us. Let's see.
Owens, AmericanFinancing.net/Owens. I can already hear the debate. I can already, I already know my husband's points that he's going to make. He is always very sensible about these things. He and I are wired differently. I may have even told you guys with the guy with the little tap who then was like, oh, we're going to sue you for a little fender bender. I was like, I would have fought that to the end. And George's perspective is sometimes just take the easier route.
Oh, this is perfect. She's going to talk about Larry Loomer's crazy accusations that George Farmer got a DUI and he had a gun and he was reckless and he totaled the car. Oh, this is perfect. She's about to talk about it. You guys know I kind of already broke this down and debunked it. Just common sense. Remember, the arrest record said that George was born in Tennessee. False. They had his wrong birthday, right? That was false. When you looked at the picture of the mugshot was covering the wording in the arrest record that said mugshot. Like, it looked like somebody made it up. Okay. And are you really going to trust Laura Loomer? Like, really? Also, if you were on my other channel, the second channel, we actually went into the Davidson County, Tennessee public records and we searched it ourselves. we couldn't really find anything. As a matter of fact, what we saw in the docket kind of actually went in line with what Candace actually said, more so than scary Larry Jigsaw, Laura Loomer. But let's hear this. I can't wait to hear this one.
But this is different. I think this is what we have been fighting for the last 7 months. George knew Charlie, and really respected him. They respected one another, and I have been thrust into the public and dealing with all of the smears, the attacks on me, my family, my employees. This might be the only window of opportunity that we have. And I know lawsuits are expensive. That's the whole reason why they try to discourage, and they want you to always take the path of least resistance. But you know what? My life just hasn't been that way anyway. I'm actually accustomed to it. So anyway, moving on. I had said at the top that I sort of slept on this thing. Like, yeah, first off, are you getting the sense that it was kind of like all plotted and planned for my birthday? Is it a weird thing? Like, so much was happening in the universe. It feels like everyone was like, that's our date, April 29th. Go for her. Go for her. First off, I also want to let you guys know a little loophole. My priest does not watch this show. Okay. He is in London. So I might be able to get away with not chilling today a little bit. And I'm not chilling, actually, because it was actually unacceptable yesterday. And I'm going to show you more of it happened. But of course, the big news was Erica Kirk just coming out there and saying something that was so obviously untrue. It was just so obviously untrue. Baron Coleman recapped this perfectly on his show last night, and he was wearing the appropriate attire. Take a listen.
So we have a series of questions. Like, if Erica wants to remain at the helm, I think she has to be able to answer some questions. Number one, why did you claim Candace said that Erica killed Charlie? She's never said it that I've seen. Oh, but Baron, didn't you see the text message where she said, yeah, I saw a text message where she was joking around with a friend and she even put a laughing face on it. I saw that. But no one assumed that's what you were talking about, Erica. Not a single person assumed that's what you were talking about. It sounded very clear to me, and I think it did to everyone else because everybody had the exact same reaction, what you were trying to say in that moment today is that Candace goes on her podcast or goes to speeches and she says, I believe Erica did it. I'll be the first to say, I don't think Erica did it. I don't think Erica killed her husband. Nor do I know a single human being that does. I've never talked to anyone who does. Talked to Candace. I've never heard her say that. Talked to a lot of these other podcasters. I've never heard anyone say that. No one who's ever been on this show has ever said that. I've never said that on this show. I don't know a single person who believes Erica killed Charlie. Not one. So what a weird thing to say. Why would you even bother saying that?
That's a good question, Baron. Why would she bother saying that? It was just like an attack from every angle yesterday. And thankfully, the internet just instantly rebounded and hit her in the face. The ball just hit her right back in the face, boomeranged, so to speak. Thankfully, everyone clocked her on that. And then you had Andrew with this ridiculous excuse. Has he yet released the full conversation? The full conversation, the context of that, mocking Ben Shapiro and Barry Weiss. This is when you said it was joke of this private conversation about what you were going to say, leaning into what everyone was claiming. If you ask a single question, you think Erica killed her husband. Now, let me at first also state unequivocally that I do not believe that Erica Kirk murdered her husband. I've never made that claim.
Nope, there you go.
In public. Sincerely, I've never made that.
This was actually really important for her to say because this just dispelled everything. She just said, let me just make it clear again for you idiots who don't listen. I don't believe that Erica Kirk killed her husband. What are you guys talking about? So that is really good that she said that. That's gonna help. Well, it should help with the narrative, but people hate her, so they're gonna say what they're gonna say. But it's good that she's making it clear. So that way, the next time somebody lies and says that Candace, someone said that Erica Kirk killed her husband, you could just refer to this video right here where she says unequivocally, I don't believe she killed her husband, and I never said she killed her husband. People really lack comprehension. They really do.
Claim what I have said and what I stand by today is that her documented lies appeared to me to be rising to a level of conspiracy and that she should be questioned. Okay. Her lack of interest in exploring possible other options, instantly forgiving him. Was there an foreign influence? She doesn't care. Not only that, but like her team is attacking Joe Kent for asking that question, right? Her lying about Dr. Lee Trotter's words. That is significant. You are never going to remove that from the story. Colluding with Andrew Kovit on an absurd Man of Steel statement and then flatly denying to my face that she did that. Throwing Andrew Kovit and Dr. Lee Trotter under the bus, okay? That's not normal. You're never going to make that normal. Donors literally telling me that she is lying about the audio clip that she presented at AmFest. The one that they now assert that they are never going to show us the video component regarding Charlie Kirk saying, Erica Kirk, I appoint my wife, Erica, to become the CEO. Donor saying that actually never went down. He never said that. It is plainly unacceptable that we have not yet received a response. They have not yet released the video to answer the claims being made by the donors that were in attendance. Release the video that you claim to have of Charlie naming you CEO. Don't be shy now, okay? People won't believe it. You took us into the casket. You had no concerns about what people believed or didn't believe. Now all of a sudden everyone's shy about a Charlie Kirk video. You're afraid people are going to think it's AI. Does that make sense to anybody?
I do want to say something important. Jazz is right. You are right about that, Jazz. She did imply. Yes, you're right. So two things can be true. She never said that Erica Kirk directly killed her husband. However, she has implied on numerous occasions that Erica Kirk was involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. She has done that. That is a fact. Like, you can't even deny that. I can pull up examples. Like, she definitely did imply that. That's true. That's true. But what she's simply saying here is that she never said that Erica killed her husband. That's what she's saying. I think she's saying, I don't know, actually. I do know. I think she implied that Erica Kirk is involved, but I think what she's trying to do here is she's saying, well, I never went as far as to say how far involved she was. It's kind of where I think she's going here.
But no, it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't make any sense. That's why they're angry. Now, on that note, though, okay, Andrew then shifting his feet immediately and pretending that little private correspondence where we mocked Barry Weiss's insinuations, that somehow accounted to me making a statement. No. Doesn't fly with me. Doesn't fly with me. Like I said, release the entire chat. You have my full permission, and it must be met with the sentencing. You guys agree? You agree? I must sentence him to more truth. Make an announcement. I must sentence Andrew and Erica to more truth. That is always the sentencing in this court. Now, what would be appropriate? What would be the appropriate level of truth to sentence you to? I got it. Okay. Now, since what you are attempting to falsely insinuate is that I went into that conversation with Erica on December 15th already convinced of her guilt, which is patently untrue, I am now going to prove to audiences just how untrue that insinuation is, okay? With the private revelation that I made to Erica Kirk, information that I gave her that I would not have given to her had I immediately suspected her of her guilt. I would have given her no information regarding this. And it was a private revelation made about you, Andrew Kovit. I don't know if they told you this. This is a really bad way to find out, but since you tried to surprise me yesterday, bam, surprise, shouty, as they say. You see, Angie, what I told Erica Kirk was that part of the reason why I suspected Turning Point USA and why I thought she should be looking into other people is because someone at Turning Point USA got a message out to me. And that message was that I need to look further into Andrew Kovit. Wow, Turning Point USA people telling me to look further into Andrew Kovit. Was it Aubrey, as he tries to insinuate? No. It was Mikey McCoy. Mikey McCoy got a message out to me via a third-party person that I should look more into Andrew Kovit. Why would he do that, Andrew? Why would Mikey McCoy say that I should look more into? When I did look into, things got very shady. And that's when I started going, who the hell is Andrew Kovit, actually? He's obviously not a very good PR agent. Everybody can see that. He's a bit of a blubbering idiot. Who is Andrew Kovit? What are his ties? What are his family ties here? And the more I looked, I did start to see more things. So as you pretend like we're all just conspiracy theorists and nobody had any good information, as you fire a bunch of employees, like I said, you still can.
So I never met Charlie Kirk, but I was within his presence. When I was in college, Charlie Kirk actually came to my campus and he spoke. And my campus had a really big Turning Point USA chapter. I was actually pretty close to the president of the Turning Point chapter there because me and him were both in student government together. So that was the closest I ever got. I never like met him or anything like that. But I was definitely within his presence. Like I saw him talk at my campus. There was a huge protest. That was a crazy day. People were not happy that day. There was a lot of protest and yelling and just divisiveness that day when he came to our campus. It was crazy.
Not produce the information that you are claiming that Aubrey Leitch gave to me that I share on this platform. You were my number one source, Andrew, in the beginning. You just forgot the things that you told me. And that's when I started realizing things were weird. And then I got Mikey McCoy telling me to look more into you. After watching this show, I would say that I had a damn good reason to suspect Turning Point USA. That they were complicit in a cover-up of what happened. Anyway, good luck, Andrew. I hope you're having a good day. Have fun. Drop more messages. Explain that one to the press cycle. I think that's going to catch a couple of headlines. Why would he say that? Switching gears, because it does appear that they are really just throwing everything at me, particularly yesterday. I didn't even know which way to look. Happy birthday to me. Good thing I'm built for it. I'm just built differently. Erica didn't just name me and put a target on my back and lie about what I said, but she wasn't the only one, right? We also had congressmen in the House presenting a bipartisan resolution name-checking me. This is the headline in the Times of Israel. Headline, literally April 29th. I couldn't believe this. The U.S. House is considering a resolution condemning Hassan Piker. I've never spoken to that person in my entire life. And Candace Owens for, you got it, guys, anti-Semitism. Who's bringing this forward? Okay, we've got Reps Mike Lauer and Josh Gottheimer. And it's a bipartisan bill to denounce anti-Semitic hate-filled.
Yeah, you guys are right. Here, we'll pause it for a second. Sorry, guys. This is my show. It's my show. Okay. Rumplegold says, whoa, did she just reveal her source is Marvelous Mikey McCoy? That is exactly what she just did. She just revealed that Mikey McCoy basically dry snitched on Andrew Kovit directly to Candace Owens. That is a pretty big bombshell, actually. That actually is pretty crazy. But yeah, basically Mikey McCoy told Candace that Andrew Kovit is dirty. And yeah, you should look into this guy, which, by the way, who's really shocked by that, right? Like, is anybody surprised? By the way, thank you, Rumple Gold, once again for the $5 donation. Look, listen, when I grow up, I want to have the bank account of Rumple Gold because obviously Rumple Gold is either loaded or very generous. Holy cow. Thank you again for the $5 donation. Let's go back.
Rhetoric. Though far left Piker says that the move is making anti-Semitism worse. That is our subheading here. The resolution begins by condemning anti-Semitic hate-filled rhetoric and content that is disseminated to prominent online personalities, blah, blah, blah. It tells us that whereas the rise of digital media platforms has enabled individuals with large audiences to disseminate disinformation, commentary, and political viewpoints to millions of viewers worldwide, such influence carries a heightened responsibility to avoid rhetoric that promotes hatred, violence, or discrimination against any group, including Jewish individuals and communities. All on the same.
All right, we're going to move forward a little bit, actually. I mean, this is cool. I did see this headline, but it's like, whatever. Like, whatever. You know, whatever. They can do what they want. Okay, they want to group her and Hassan Piker as anti-Semites. Okay, big whoop.
Care so much about what other people think about us. It's not a little ridiculous. There's just this underlying weakness that allows people who are actually tyrannical, people who are actually doing despicable things, people who actually support the Epstein files and want to protect that network of human traffickers. Okay. They pretend they're the good guys. They find people who are weak can't take being called names. You can do it. Black people, you can do it. Jews, you can do it. Spanish people, you can do it. Asian people, you can do it. You can handle being called a name as long as you get to remain free. That's more important. Okay? They are trying to flip that on its head so they can usher in tyranny. They want Europe. They want what's already happening in Florida. Police showing up on your door, asking you if you sent a tweet. Did you criticize Candace Owens today? She's black. Did you know she's black? It's racist. I get called the N-word every second of every day. Go on X. I don't care. Doesn't impact my day. I don't know who these people are on the internet. I don't feel threatened by that. Okay? You have a right to think racist thoughts. Now, I happen to genuinely not be a racist. But if people were racist, I understand the importance of making sure that we don't pass speech laws. And that is what is coming next, because they have been signaling it for a week straight, full fire. Not just Erica Kirk, also Caroline Leavitt came out and now is trying to equate speech to violence. Take a listen.
This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party. And
I'm sorry, I just don't care about this story. Yeah, everybody who criticizes Israel is an anti-Semite. Yeah, we know. Okay, they're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. There's an ad. Okay, good. I mean, she's going to move on to another subject because I just don't care about that. I'm sorry. Let's see what we got.
So why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Why do they want to come for our speech? Because they view us, independent media, people that have kept the Epstein story alive, people that said, we're not accepting this Fed slop narrative regarding Charlie Kirk. He's trending every day on Twitter. We are almost 8 months into this thing, and Charlie Kirk is still trending on Twitter, and they wanted this to go away. At the moment that Erica said, I forgive him, they wanted us to forgive him and move on, referring to Tyler Robinson. We to them are the storied barbarians at the gate. How do we control this? We have built ourselves a mini empire. We control the media apparatus. We control the schools. And now we've got people pulling their kids out of school, talking about homeschooling, understanding how we lie for the first time, not looking left or right, but looking up and down, realizing how despicable these people are. That, yes, of course, we are morally above them, not falling for their tricks about racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, locking arms, and realizing we actually don't hate each other. What we hate is this corruption. And Epstein? Yeah, we are. We kind of are. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Yeah, maybe he should have won that. I felt like I do have to say that I think being a pedophile ranks higher for being vile. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm just out here trying to use rich white men, as you said. Brock Jordan writes, imagine believing a lady on the internet is the most vile person and not the people dropping bombs on schools. Yeah, that was pretty vile, Trump, when you guys just like randomly dropped a bomb on 150 schoolgirls in Iran
160.
and then lied to us about it. It ranks up there.
Still lying about it.
That's what I would say.
They still won't take ownership for it.
Nothing. That's why you guys, we have to squash the independent. They're so stupid and low IQ, but for some reason they're effective at making people see us through the correct lens. I would say people are seeing things for the first time. The scales are falling off of all of our eyes. All right, to get to some of today's comments, we've gone overtime today. Sorry, Baron. I know Baron waits for me to get off. I'm actually, if you didn't watch Baron Coleman's show last night, please do watch the show. It was a fantastic monologue, correlating what is happening, and he holds a sympathetic view, much more sympathetic than I do, of what's going on with Erica Kirk. And he sort of correlates it to Joe Biden and just being insulated and people around you who just want to keep you where you are because it benefits them and they get enriched and everybody can see that it's not working and that you're incompetent. And then eventually they're going to have to admit that. And yeah, it was a really good monologue. You should watch that. Also, he is going to do a follow-up. Obviously, Baron is a lawyer. That's his real job. He was a fantastic podcaster. He just started this podcast, this process of podcasting full time, but he will have a very interesting take on the lawsuit, which I haven't even finished reading. It's so crazy. There were parts where I just was like, this is insane. It's just, there's so many lies, objective lies here about my intentions and my motivations. That's the point of filing these lawsuits. So you can send it to the press and say it's real and say it's true. And so therefore I stated it, so it must be true. And that is not the case. You can lie in filings. It's just pointed out. Today's comments, Michael Jester writes, lawyer here. This money is for her legal fees. Thank you so much for that
Oh,
donation. Your attorneys and clients suing her over opinions of free speech to be relevant should beware of a malicious prosecution suit once a defense verdict is rendered. You deserve it, and we should make examples to deter this BS. Yeah, I even think part of the coordination was like this was like Laura Loomer hiding money in a trust. She said I was hiding money in a trust. Completely untrue.
yeah,
Hiding money
that
for
was a lie.
Brigitte.
Yeah, that was a
Here
lie.
is what's happening. Like they were trying to basically say, like getting out this narrative that like I was duping my podcast followers, and they kept bringing up lawsuits. Strangely, so I'm feeling like a lot of this may have been choreographed because this lawyer Matt Sarlson, the one who speaks like he has helium, like he's just ingested some helium, definitively
I want to hear him
retweeting
talk.
Laura Loomer.
Hold
So
on,
that feels
we gotta find
weird.
this.
That feels like
Did I not just say that, guys? Did I not call it? She just said what I said like 30 minutes ago. I told you guys, Matt Sarlson is friends with Laura Loomer. I did some research and found that. They be talking to each other on Twitter. He retweets her a lot. Yeah, he's a friend of Laura Loomer. So that's also very telling.
everyone was kind of in a weird way anticipating this lawsuit and knew that it may have been coming. And Trump was signaling you should sue people to Erica. Anyways, 2 Cent writes, why is everyone suing and not helping with the investigation? All of them had direct access with Charlie Kirk. Instead of helping, they are suing. Who and what information are they protecting? Go Max. Yeah, well, thinking clearly through what going Max means, maybe that's how we do it. We can just start actually selling that Go Max gear, a hat or whatever it is now. And yeah, I know what my husband's going to say. He's gonna say, this is very expensive. These lawsuits to get to that phase, hundreds of thousands of dollars. No questions asked. But truth matters. And I have found that when you don't overthink, when people really want money, they tend to lose a lot of it, right? When your focus is money, 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 you tend to lose a lot of it. And when you are focused on truth and doing the right thing, like, no, genocide is always wrong. It actually opens the door for you get rewarded in the end. I think that's kind of been the lesson of my last few years. The show has been tremendously successful, and I did the right thing, the harder thing, but the right thing. And I feel like I am again being faced with that right now, that decision. And like I said, I have to speak to my husband because everything has to be done together. So we'll see what we come up with, and I will keep you guys in the loop. I think you can see where my heart is on this, though. Keeping the faith with Father Joseph writes, the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Just let it out and it will defend itself. That is very true. We are seeing that. And the truth has been very...
All right. She's at the reading comments part. We'll continue this in a minute. I just want to read some of you all's comments because some of you guys have some very interesting comments, at least that I saw. So let me see. This is your chance. Go ahead. Get your grievances out. So some of you guys have a lot to say, I see. Pulling the StreamYard back up so I can read your comments. Also, in the comments, you don't know what people are going to say. Echoes, what do you think about Benny Johnson? I personally like his talks, and I don't think he's one of the crazy on the right. You know what's funny? Maggie? I don't watch Benny Johnson. I never have. He's just never been for me. I don't know why. I've just never been interested. Maybe I should give him a chance. Maybe I'll like him, but I've never watched him. He's had some controversies for sure. I've heard about that. I think he said something that I didn't like, and I made a video about it before, but I don't remember. Maybe like a while ago. But I don't watch him. I don't really watch him. If you want to know the guys that I watch, I'll tell you. But yeah, he's not one of them. He's just not somebody I've ever really been interested in like that, to be honest. What else y'all got for me? We got 2 people fighting in the chat. No fighting in the chat. No fighting. What are we doing? No fighting. Candace Owens has 4 kids in 5 years. Is that even mathematically possible? Yes. It's called back to back to back to back. All right. Let me explain something to you, my guy. By the way, me and my wife are older. My wife is older than me. So when me and my wife have kids, we're going to have our kids back to back to back to back. We don't have a choice because of her age. So we're going to do the same thing. And I think that's part of the reason why Candace Owens had her kids back to back to back. Because remember, once you get over the age of 35, they don't call it geriatric pregnancy anymore. I forget the word. It's some other word they use, but I'm just going to call it that because that's what it was called when I was younger. It was called geriatric pregnancy. So the reason why Candace Owens had all these kids back to back to back is because once you turn 35 and get older than 35, you run more of the risk. So what Candace Owens is doing is exactly what me and my wife are going to do too. But in terms of having kids back to back to back, I mean, yeah, you have a child after 9 months, takes about 6 weeks or something like that, 6 to 8 weeks to fully heal, something like that, and then you have another one. Yeah, that's how it goes. Not that big of a deal, I don't think it's all that crazy. By the way, I'm going to tell you something else funny. My mom had her kids back to back to back to back. Okay. I am 31 years old. My brother is 30. Sister, like we're all basically 15 months, like we're all basically like 15 months apart. So me and my siblings. So my mom had all of us back to back to back to back. Like, yeah, absolutely happens. That's how my family is. Like we're all basically like 1 year apart. Pretty much. Oh, April's in the building. Hey. April said yes. What a man question. Yeah, I agree. That was a man question. See, one thing about me, I'm not your typical man. I don't know much, but I know a little something. I know a little something. Look at all the women. Hey, you guys are funny. Somebody said, "Oh my." That's great. I'm just gonna leave this April comment up. Yes, what a man question. I'm gonna leave this up. We'll go back to reading your comments in a minute. We're gonna let Candace stream play, but we're gonna leave that up because that's so funny. What a man question to ask.
Powerful, and that's what they're angry about, that they don't know how to deal with the truth being out there. Jen Common writes, UVU just requires you to fill out a form, which is titled Request for Authorization to Operate a Drone with the Office of Risk Management. So did Brian fill out this form and UVU denied it? If so, he can show us the form and the denial. Yeah. Like I said, he could have just disputed the stuff. I'm not trying to get the exclusive, Brian Harpole. You're out here like Candace needs the clicks to talk about Brian Harpole. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you say these things? It's not true. It is not true. We want to be accurate. It does not benefit me to be on a platform telling lies. You will lose. Your audience will no longer trust you when you do that. They will be the girl who cried wolf. Okay. I want to be accurate. I'm open to being wrong. This is an investigation, an open investigation. So you're going to sometimes come up against the wrong information. But I have thus far not been given an alibi for the morning of September 9th, despite you asserting that in the lawsuit. Again, she had his flights. The flights were for what, 2:19, 1:19, 1:39 in the afternoon from Dallas. Mitch says the meeting concluded at 7:30 a.m. There were flights that left Fort Huachuca and got back into Dallas by 10 o'clock a.m. So no, you have not, but I'm open. Give me the alibi. Give it to me. Give me the text message, the Starbucks receipts at the airport or whatever, wherever you were, or I guess not at the airport because that was an afternoon flight. The coffee receipt from that morning. Like I texted you, I aimed to be accurate and I was sympathetic to you and I was wrong about you is what I will say. I was deeply wrong about you. My instincts were wrong. And I probably shouldn't have immediately defended you in the beginning, only for you to throw it in my face and pretend that I didn't. And that was part of the early conspiracies. Good luck with Matt Sarlson as a lawyer, by the way. I will say that. Goops writes, happy birthday, Candace. You inspire me so much. Stay strong in God's strength. There is a purpose in everything. Just rest in his providence. I feel like even there is some providence to me having received my confirmation and hearing that message, that homily about how like what it means is like you then really have to toughen up. You become a soldier for truth, a soldier for Jesus. And that happens. And I come back and it is like full blown attacks coming from every direction. But I was fashioned for this. I really do believe that. I believe that everything that's happened to me happened for a reason because I feel battle ready, like battle hardened from 2023, 2024, the things that happened. They pulled the carpet under my feet. They smeared me, tried to stop me from being able to travel to Australia. And so to go through all of that, it just makes you go, okay, I actually now have I can deal with this. I know how to fight this. We have the right players that are in place, and I have the support of the people. And that matters too, to know that people have my back in the way that you guys do here in the comments. Brise writes, fighting for Charlie. Thank you for keeping the story as alive as you have. Thank you guys for caring about this story. I gotta think that he is watching actually, and helping in any way that he can. I also want to tell you guys a great way to support us, obviously, always is the merch store. Buy yourself a t-shirt, buy yourself a hat, go to CandaceOwens.com. Tomorrow we have book club, and this will be ending the book, The Secret Founding of America. And we will then be jumping into my book, which I'm super excited about, which is Make Him a Sandwich. I love that book so much. That's a signed copy bundle. You can obviously buy a regular copy. Maybe because I was gone, I kind of feel like I owed you guys.
All right, guess that's the end of the stream. We'll leave that up right there. We'll read more comments. This is actually funny. All right. What we got? Hey, you are funny, man. Don't take us poking fun at you to heart. We're not being mean. It's just these questions are funny. She gained no weight in 5 years. Her body goes back to normal at 38 after 4 kids in 5 years. Those kids were petri dished. Okay. So you never know when people are trolling or not. You might be trolling or you might genuinely not know. I don't know. But the bottom line is, let me tell you how women work, my friend. So everybody's genetics are different. Okay. Everybody has different body types. My sister didn't honestly, it was kind of crazy. When my sister had her first child, she didn't even look like she was pregnant. It was crazy. She didn't show to like the last month of the pregnancy. It was crazy. Like she barely showed, and she gained like nothing. Okay. So not only are everybody's bodies differently, some people gain more weight than others, some people gain weight during it, some people don't. Everybody's body's differently, everybody's metabolism is different, right? Not only that, but it also helps if you work out during pregnancy and work out after. And the reason I know all this is because I told you guys, me and my wife got married last year, and we're ready to start having kids. So that's coming soon. So obviously I've done my research and I know a little something or two. So yeah, when you're pregnant, you are supposed to work out before and after. And also, I'll tell you something else. As a man, you're supposed to prepare for pregnancy. Yes, we're not going to get too graphic here, but yes, all I got to say is as a man, you play a very important role too. And it is important that you are healthy as well. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Let's keep reading. Yeah, Candace is 37 years old. April says, I went back to being skinny after all my kids. Yep. All depends on your body type. Also, she's rich and can afford a personal trainer. That's true. Yeah, a personal trainer can whip you into shape too, but you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. Just work out. Many women never return, but I guess everything goes by your meter. Okay. Let's. A lot of women do a lot more than you think. But like, for example, I'll give you an example. I'll give you the perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. You'll notice two distinct things. Most celebrities bounce right back after pregnancy. Very few of them. I mean, obviously your body changes after pregnancy, right? But most of them bounce back. Obviously there's surgeries, there's tummy tucks, but not all of them do that. Many of them just bounce back because they have a personal trainer. The difference between like an average person and a celebrity is celebrities make their money by looking good, right? A lot of them, they have to have a certain appearance. So when they're pregnant, they work out during the pregnancy, they work out after the pregnancy, and they bounce back. Regular people whose beauty or looks or physique isn't the main driver of their money, they're not as incentivized to bounce back or work out during pregnancy or all of those things. And again, keep in mind, everybody's body is different. So yes, There are some people out there who gain the weight and they never lose it. Everybody's body is different. However, at the same time, if you get in a calorie deficit and you work out and you eat right, you will lose weight. It doesn't matter who you are unless you have some sort of rare condition. So that's all. But I'm the opposite. I know plenty of women who got pregnant and lost the weight immediately. I know plenty of them. So I might be in a different bracket than you who's commenting when you say that many women never return. My experience is most of the women that I know, they did return and they return quickly. But you got to be serious about it and intentional, you know? All right, let's see. Let's see. So far, my only kids is my dog. LOL. Too early for me to be a mama. No worries. No worries. Yes, you can snap back if you're eating right and working out. Plus, breastfeeding makes you lose weight quick. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I went back to normal in a few months. Yep. 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 LOL. It's called exercise and eating healthy. That's it. That's what I've been saying. Yeah, that's it. It's really that simple. Exercise and eat right. That's it. When does she have time to exercise giving birth to 4 kids in 5 years? Well, if you know anything about her life, she records for like an hour or two a day on her YouTube show. That's where most of her money comes from. And all the other duties she outsourced. She has employees who do all the rest of the work for her. Excuse me. So, well, here's my thing. In my opinion, there's never an excuse to not work out. Okay. You can easily find time no matter how busy you are, and you should because you only get one body. Your health is the most important thing. Don't matter how much money you got or how famous you are, don't matter if you don't got your health. So, in my opinion, everybody should dedicate time to their body. You know, like I dedicate like 2 hours a day. Like I'm like crazy because I know that I only have one body. So I'm walking, I'm running, I'm working out, I'm doing all that. You got to. You should never not have time to take care of your own health. Never. Never, never, never. She's rich and has help. That's it. Exactly. She's rich. She's actually wealthy. Like she has plenty of help. She's good. Something to add to what Echoes mentioned. My mom barely gained any weight when she had me, and only me and my cousin did gain weight during it. Exactly. Everybody's body is different. Jazz is spot on. I don't know if you guys know this, but I talk about health a lot because I take health very seriously. I think America has a health crisis. And I don't even think, well, the bad food is a part of it, but I think the problem is people eat too much of it. But Jazz hit the nail on the head right there. Historically, most women were skinny after kids. Women today are fat because of lack of exercise and poor diet. She's right. She's right. You ever seen a picture of your grandparents? I'm sorry, not your grandparents. Well, yeah, your grandparents, but also your great grandparents. Go look at photos of your parents and your great grandparents in the 1940s, 50s, 30s, 60s. They were all skinny as heck. And the reason why is because life was different back then. The food was better. People went out more, exercise, all those different things. So Jazz is right. Jazz is spot on. It's people's diets and lack of exercise that has actually changed, not necessarily the pregnancies. I do agree with that. That is true. That is absolutely true. A lot of celebrities have surrogates. Yeah, that's true. Some of them do. They bounce back after going through surrogacy and wearing fake bumps throughout. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You guys are right. Y'all are right. Y'all are right. We just explained it, psyops. We just explained it. We just explained it. Candace said before she's working on making a postpartum workout regimen that she's going to give to her members. Oh, that would be great. Do you think they will take away our free speech? Yeah. I mean, they kind of already have, but yeah, I do. It's coming. It's getting worse. Yeah, I do. I do. I do. Jazz says getting fat when married is disrespectful unless there's a legit hormonal issue. I won't go that far, but I will say that yeah, you owe it to your partner to be your best self and your healthiest self. I'll say that. You owe that to yourself first and then to your partner. Yes. Yes, you do. You want to be your best self and your healthiest self for sure. She definitely didn't have all 4 kids. She had 2 tops. She did not give birth to 4 kids and 5. Okay. Yeah, but Candace Owens is a little different. I don't think Candace Owens would use a surrogate. I think Candace Owens gave birth to the kids. But okay. Also, I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, folks was having like 9 kids. Like back in the day, people were having kids like it was nothing. They had a lot of kids back then. People don't have as many kids now because life is so freaking hard and expensive. So people are like, look, I'm gonna have what I can afford. It's basically how life goes now. People are having as many kids as they can afford. They just took away the black vote. When did that happen? Where'd they do that at? Uh-oh, April said you're so sexist. Who's sexist? Hey, you guys are funny, man. This Dream Boy. Let me see something. What do we got? Oh, we still got 40 people in here. That's cool. But how come she never gained weight? I never noticed her gain 1 pound in 5 years. If anything, she looks better shape now than 5 years ago. Yes, psyops is called working out and good genetics. I mean, Candace Owens is naturally a skinny person. She's been skinny her whole life, right? Like she's been in good shape her whole life. Again, genetics and working out. Genetics and working out. She did gain weight, but lost it. All right, let's see if we got anything else going on for our industry. How long have I been live? Dang, I've been live for 2 hours. Okay, well, that should pretty much be about it. Let's see what's going on. Well, Candace covered the lawsuit, so yeah. Oh, I got you, April. Yeah, I didn't cover that because I just didn't think it was that important. You know, Congress has done this to Candace before. This isn't new. Basically, Congress is trying to censor Hassan Piker and Candace Owens, something like that. Let me go find it. It's just a procedural thing they do. It's never going to happen. It doesn't really matter. But I'll. That's the reason why I skipped it because I'm like, all right. Yeah, right, exactly. All they're doing is they're passing a resolution to condemn Candace Owens as Hassan Piker, which they've done this before, by the way. Like, this is not new. They tried to pass a resolution before condemning them. That's all they're doing. All the resolution says is the United States House of Representatives officially condemns Candace Owens and Hassan Piker for being anti-Semites. Guys, nobody cares. Nobody's falling for the anti-Semitic thing anymore. Nobody cares, bro. That's why I skipped it, because it's just crap. Like, who cares? Okay, hey, I'm enjoying this health conversation because I'm health conscious myself. Shoot, I'm enjoying this. This is cool. Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Psyop says, I worked out my entire life. Your body slows down a ton, especially after 35 for women. No, that's not true. Psyops, that's not true. It depends. It depends. There's a lot that you don't know. It depends on how long you've been working out. It depends on how consistent you've been. There's a lot that goes into that. Yes, your metabolism slows down if that's what you're talking about. Yes. But if you're eating right and working out and doing what you're supposed to do and take care of yourself, it don't matter that much. It really don't. The main reason why older men and women are like out of shape and stuff is because a lot of people over the age of like 35 don't run or work out at all. Like for example, I'm in my 30s. Let me tell you guys something funny. So I still go out and play sports, right? I still play sports, like a full sprint sport. Like I'm talking like football, like flag football, basketball, like stuff where you literally have to move your body in sprint, right? I was talking to one of my friends and we were talking to him about like, hey, you want to play ball or whatever? He said, I retired. We're like, you retired? We're like, dude. So I had a conversation with him. I'm like, dude, you're only 30. Use it or lose it, my guy. Like, that's what happens when people get older for whatever reason. I mean, I guess it's because of responsibilities. They got kids now and work can be stressful, whatever it is. But you should never stop moving. And a big part of the health crisis we have in this country is when people get older, they just stop moving. They stop going to the gym. They stop walking as much. They stop working out. They stop playing sports. Like me, I'm gonna be like LeBron. Okay. I'm gonna be playing sports for as long as I can. I'm gonna be 40 years old still playing sports. Seriously. Still going to be going to the gym, still going to be putting up shots, still going to be playing, whatever, That's my plan because you got to take care of your health. So to answer your question, that's what happens. That's what happens. People get older and they just stop moving. They don't get active anymore. They just sit in the house all day. And you cannot do that. That's the worst thing you can do. You cannot sit in the house. You have to do something. You have to. Shout out to my grandfather. He's in his 70s and he still works out. That's incredible. I really don't understand how people watch Candace unironically. Well, everybody has their own thing. Different people are into different things. Some people like Candace Owens. Some people don't. People watch what they watch. I like Candace Owens. I watch her. I watch her more than Brett Cooper. That's what we need to talk about. I don't know how people watch Brett Cooper anymore. I'm just being honest. I do not know how people watch Brett Cooper anymore. Her content doesn't do it for me anymore. Matter of fact, we're on this subject. I wonder how my Brett Cooper video is doing. Let's see. Let's check on my Brett Cooper video. Let's see. Oh, that video came out 2 months ago. I literally just put it out. Come on, YouTube. Okay. I just want to see how the video is doing. Because that's what I want to talk. I want to talk about how Brett Cooper really fell off. Okay, that video is doing well. 2,000 views in 4 hours. Not bad. Yeah, that's what we need to talk about is Brett Cooper. You talking about Candace. Candace content is still really, really good. Brett Cooper, man, what happened to Brett Cooper? I can't even watch Brett Cooper anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. Hey, we got somebody in here. Seattle 9528 says, hi, Echoes. Hey, Seattle, what's up? Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. We do appreciate you. Candace is definitely a Jew hater. I don't agree with that. Because if Candace is a Jew hater, then that means you would call me one too. And I'm definitely not. I don't hate Jews at all. I just tell the truth. Come on, Shelly Belly. Don't be one of those people who, because we don't agree with you, now we're anti-Semitic and we're Jew haters. Come on, stop it. Hey, Jazz Baz, you must be in really good shape because you were hitting the nail on the head. You get it. Jazz Bass says, when you hit 35 and never care for yourself, that is when it really hits hard. That is true. If you have bad habits in your lifestyle, when you get older, it's going to hit worse. It is going to hit harder. Yes, that is correct. Jazz Bass gets it. Not pickleball? Nah, I don't play pickleball. I do play pretty much every sport, but not pickleball. I don't play pickleball. But tennis is fun. Oh, you know what I love? I love playing badminton. I've always loved badminton, always. Badminton is so fun. Badminton might be one of my favorites. I think badminton is like my top 3 favorite sports. I love badminton. So yeah, badminton is fun. Basketball, flag football, soccer, school. I play everything, literally everything. Literally every sport. There's not a sport that I don't play. And for those that don't know, I was an athlete in high school. I played every sport in high school. I did basketball, football, track, and I didn't play badminton in high school on the team, but I did play intramurals badminton. That's how much I like badminton. They used to have intramurals badminton where you could just show up and play, and I would show up and play. So that's how much of a fan of badminton I am. I love badminton. Love it. I love the little birdie that you hit. I've always liked that thing. So yeah. I've been working out a lot in the garden doing gardening. Well, that's great because you're also getting a lot of like sunlight and stuff like that if you're outside. So that's good. Yep, you got to work out, folks. I lift food to my face. Okay, lift healthy food to your face and you'll be okay. A lot of people start trying at 35 and it's too hard to get in shape after so long. That is true. It's a much bigger hill to climb. Yes. You're going to have to be a lot more consistent for a lot longer in order to get over that hump when you're older. Yes, that is true. I've been trying to get back into my workout routine to gain a healthier weight and be healthy in general. My other workout is just bathing my dog because she's like my size. That's funny. I run with my baby stroller. No excuses. Yep. Brett is boring as F. She's not boring, but I don't like her channel anymore. And I don't like her subject matters either. I don't think Brett Cooper is the female version of Ben Shapiro. They do look alike, but I don't think she's the female version now. Same. I can only handle 10 minutes of Brett the most in one video. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I agree. I'm telling you, her channel is just not. I'm sorry. I hate to sound like a hater because I used to be a huge fan of Brett Cooper, but her channel is just not good anymore. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. I don't know what. I don't know where she went wrong, but her channel is just not it anymore. I do not like her channel. I really don't. Wow, you guys have shown a lot of support in the latest video. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just looking now, 66 comments. Oh, let's see. I'm going to read the comments under my latest Brett Cooper video. I just want to see what people are saying. This person right here just said, I enjoy your videos a lot more than Brett Cooper's. Wow, that is a big compliment because Brett Cooper is a huge content creator. This person says, I enjoy your videos a lot more compared to hers. I am still subscribed to her, but I watch your channel more. I really appreciate that. That is really nice. As a Brett Cooper hater, I'm happy people are over her about time. That's funny. Yeah, I'm not a hater. I'll never be a hater, but her channel, look, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be real. Her channel was not good. I'm sorry. You guys want to watch it? I can prove it. Her channel was not good. She chooses the worst subjects, and I hate the way she titles her videos. She doesn't even title her videos in a way that even makes me want to click them. Like her, she's falling off a cliff, guys. I'm just going to be real. She's falling off a cliff. I do not like her channel. Brett Cooper has fallen off, unfortunately. Okay, we got a lot of comments. We're going to look over here. Genetics matters. My family is almost skinny women before and after pregnancy. Yep. Yep. What do we got? And she gets so animated, it hurts my ears. Guess I am getting old. You know what I don't like here? Let's watch Brett Cooper's videos because she really isn't the same. She does her videos are like overly edited now. Like they do too much editing. And I don't like that. Look at that. This video isn't even doing good. This video has 60,000 views in 8 hours. That's not good. That's not good. This video is going to barely get 100K views. I can tell you guys that right now. All right, let's watch her latest video.
Well, guys, I hate to do this, but unfortunately, once again, we need to talk about a sexual pervert. I have decided to keep this little running log to see if we can make it a few days without having to discuss one of these freaks. But apparently today is not that day. So we are back to day 0, and we have somebody else who needs help, who needs Jesus and needs consequences. All right, so imagine, my friends, that you are a famous influencer turned actor.
Yeah, I hate everything about her new channel. Let me go to the comment section so we can do a comparison. I hate everything about her channel. Like, I didn't even like that intro. It was just too much. It was too much. I did not like that. Here, let me. Okay, let's see. See, these are much better titles. Making hot girls look dumb. I react to Candace Owens on whatever. Let's see. It's official. He's a man. This was a great video too, because I remember this was that Olympic boxer. I remember this. This is a really good thumbnail too. Like this was just such a good channel. Look at this. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Look at this. Did I get a shut up ring? I'm engaged. Do you know how relatable that is? That is so relatable. I'm sure you guys know what a shut up ring is. Like, oh, goodness, you keep asking me if I'm going to propose to you and if we're going to get engaged. Oh, here. I'm proposed. There you go. Take the ring. Like, this is great content. This is content that both men and women could get into. You know, you go here. First of all, who is Haley Beck? I don't even know who that is. That's another thing. She covers people that nobody know. Who is that? Who? Does anybody know who Haley Beck is? I don't know who that is. Noah Beck's sister. Yeah, sorry. I have no idea who these people are. I don't know. All right, let's watch more of her video.
You're trying to grow in your career, grow beyond TikTok, change your legacy, your reputation, and then suddenly everything in your life is thwarted after your sister is fired from her high school teaching career because she can't stop hooking up with her sugar baby students. But that's not all, because then your old TikToks from 2020 resurface showing your mother in a sexual light, then causing her to also be placed on leave from her teaching job. I'm not making that up. That is what somebody is actually going through right now. That is the position that mega TikToker Noah Beck has found himself in. And let me tell you, I personally would just...
Oh, it's a TikToker. That's why. Yeah, I don't know who Noah Beck is. But I also don't get on TikTok ever. I don't watch TikTok. It's not my thing. All right, let's watch other videos. It's her subject matter. I think her biggest problem, guys, is people aren't clicking the videos. That's why her viewership is so low, because people aren't even clicking it. People are like, Brett, what are you talking about? Reacting to the craziest liberals on my feed. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm going to tell you guys why this video flopped. Again, she has 1.69 million subscribers, and she's only getting 100K views. She should be getting way more than that. Here's why this video flopped. Sometimes you just got to read the room. You got all this drama going on the right. You got the war in Iran. You got Erica Kirk. You got Pete Hegseth drama. You got Kash Patel. You just have so much going on. And the video you want to put out is reacting to the craziest liberals on my feed. Nobody's thinking about liberals right now. Liberals are not in style anymore. Nobody's like, at one point it made sense to make fun of them. Like, you know, when this video should have came out when Donald Trump was running for election against Kamala Harris, that would have made sense. Then you go ahead and make fun of the liberals, right? But right now, during this time, this is just a much more serious time, Brett. People don't want to watch you react and laugh at liberals. You know, people are really struggling. You know what you should laugh at? You should make a video laughing at the goofy things that the Trump administration does. That would be funny. People would laugh at that. That would be good. She's doing what the quartering does. That's what the quartering does, and he's losing viewership too. They just do this whole right versus left thing, all the liberals. I don't think Brett realizes that the right versus left thing is kind of over. A lot of people have moved past that, especially now that they realize that Trump tricked everybody. I have spoken to a lot of people who have personally told me that they're just done. Some people have told me they're not going to vote ever again. Some people have told me they're going to vote third party, which Come on over to this side. We've been voting third party for years over here. Come on over. So, yeah, I mean, I just, with the current climate, because guys, you got to remember, you got to think about it, right? When you log on YouTube, most people watch videos either through notifications or their homepage, but here's the problem. Brett Cooper is competing against other people, right? YouTube shows you Brett's video, but then they show you other people's videos. So which video you're more likely to click on? Erica Kirk dressed up like an assassin, or Brett Cooper reacting to the craziest liberals on my feed? Girl, don't nobody care about that. Which video are you more likely to react to? Donald Trump having another assassination attempt, or Brett Cooper reacting to crazy liberal freaks? Or would you rather react to whatever the heck is going on with the rock? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I'm glad that we're live because now I get to go on my rant and really explain how annoyed I am with Brett Cooper. It's sad how far her channel has fallen. And look, Brett, I'm a fan. If you ever want to contact me, and I'm not going to tell you how to run your channel, but if I could just give feedback as a fan, I would love to do that because I want Brett Cooper to succeed. I want her to prosper, but I'm just being real. Your channel kind of sucks. Like, you got to read the room. All your contemporaries are reading the room. You are in the same space as Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and all these other people. Like, you're a podcaster, and they're destroying you in views because they're talking about what really matters. And I get it. You're Gen Z. I get it. You want to appeal to Gen Z. I get it. But guess what? Gen Z is getting older. Gen Z understands what's going on in the world too. And by the way, you are getting destroyed by Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes gets way more views than you, and he's getting a lot more Gen Zers to watch his channel. Why? Now, obviously, some people are going to say there's a gender aspect to it because he's a male and all that. Some people might say that, but I'm not going to lie to you. Nick Fuentes' content, he actually speaks to the things that Gen Z cares about. And I feel like Brett Cooper has gone down this like political comedy route, and it just doesn't really work. Like, look at this. Russell Brand slept with a 60-year-old. That's an old story. I don't know. It's just, you got to think of the timing. She posted this video yesterday, guys. Yesterday. Out of everything going on in the world, you're posting Russell Brand. Don't nobody care? Look at this. This video did horrible. This video didn't even get 100K views. DC runs on hypocrisy and booze. Okay, let's watch this video.
Cash Patel, please.
Somebody said, like him or hate him, respect that racist clown. Yeah, here's the deal. He's definitely a racist person, but I got to be honest. Some of the stuff he says is spot on. He says some really interesting, truthful, accurate stuff. I'm not saying that I watch him because I don't. I just see the clips, but hey. He's doing something right because he gets a crap ton of views. Let's watch this.
Stay off of my timeline. Like, I am begging you, please stay out of the news unless you are making arrests. And I say that with love. I say that with love because I want this administration to succeed, and your PR, your image is directly connected with that success, in my opinion. Like, I'm honestly starting to miss the good old days when we didn't know what shoes the FBI director was wearing to a UFC fight, when we didn't know who he was dating when they weren't doing podcasts together, when we didn't know the ins and outs of his personal life when he was off the clock. And I'm saying all of this because, in case you missed it, a scathing expose came out about Cash Patel, and it does not look good. So this is from The Atlantic. The headline reads, "The FBI director is MIA." Apparently he's not
the Erica Kirk edit. So Michael and April are both asking about the Erica Kirk video I was supposed to make where I basically pull up all her lowlights. Yeah, I still haven't started on that. I will do it. I'll probably do it this weekend. I have to have time to do that. It's going to take some work. And unfortunately, I do have a full-time day job, which you guys know I recently got promoted. Don't worry, don't clap for me. They didn't raise my pay. They promoted me without raising my pay because the company's struggling. Okay. That's a different conversation for a different day. So I've been absolutely slammed at work. And then keep in mind, my department is very, very small because you guys know I work in compliance. I'm a compliance officer. That's my actual job title. Our department used to be 5 people. But my old boss quit, and we had another coworker who got laid off because my company fired 20% of the workforce. So now there's only 3 people in our department. And then I got an email this morning that my new boss he got sick and he's not going to be back to work till Monday. So now there's just 2 people in the compliance department doing the work of 5. And we just get a million emails because in the company that I work for, they're always, contacting us and asking us, hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do that? Hey, so-and-so's lawyer emailed us and said that we can't do this. Oh, let me tell you guys, can I rant about my job real quick and how annoying my job is? Let me tell you, well, don't get me wrong. I actually do like my job a lot, actually. Like, I like the work that I do. It's actually very fulfilling, and I really do enjoy it. I do want to rant, though. So it's quite sad. Lawyers are now using ChatGPT. And I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, so for those who don't know, I don't believe, I'll give you guys my philosophy on AI. There are a lot of people out here who are using ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity. There's a bunch of them now. They're using AI to do their work for them. I think that is dangerous, and I think that is a disservice to yourself. I don't ever use AI to do my work. I don't even use AI to write emails. I have templates for different emails that I send. So to make my job easier, so I don't have to type it all out, I have templates that are saved. So I just pull out the template, fix it up, and send it. I would much rather do that than AI. I'm going to tell you why. AI is not there yet. AI be making stuff up all the time. AI is just not there yet. It's just not. And also, I don't trust AI. I don't trust those stupid robots anyway. I'm like Will Smith in iRobot. If you ever seen the movie iRobot, Will Smith, I'm like him. I don't trust them dang robots, okay? I don't trust them. I don't like them. By the way, I live in Chicago. There are Waymos and delivery bots everywhere. They be running into stuff all the time. There are robots that do DoorDash. I'm not joking. When people order a DoorDash, the robot picks it up and the robot wheels to your house and delivers your food. Not joking. This is happening right now in Chicago. I hate those stupid things. Hate them. Waymos, same thing. They be running into stuff, running off the road. I don't trust those things. I'm not getting none of them robots, AI, none of that. I don't do that. So anyway, the annoying thing about my job is a lot of the emails that I get are from people bugging me saying, hey, this lawyer used Google AI and ChatGPT, and ChatGPT told them that we can't write this line of business, because I work in insurance. We can't write this line of business in the state of Colorado because of AI. I'm like, did the lawyer dig through the statutes and read the laws? Because AI can't dig through statutes and read laws, right? Going and asking AI, by the way, in my line of work, AI is wrong all the time. And I get really annoyed because I always get these emails. I got like 2 of them today. And it was people saying that, hey, one of our insureds, which, that's a person that we do business with. We basically insure them. One of our insureds, or not even insureds, it'd be like sometimes regulators do that too, but it'll just be somebody trying to tell us that, we can't collect the premium to a certain amount, or when it comes to like the risk, they can't have a certain amount there either. I don't want to get too nerdy and complicated, but the bottom line is they're telling us that we can't do certain things. And the reason why, their basis for why we can't do certain things is because ChatGPT said they couldn't. I'm like, well, did you actually go to the source? And sure enough, I got to do the homework for them. Keep in mind, these are lawyers. These are guys who get paid $1,000 an hour. I don't get paid $1,000 an hour. I don't get paid nowhere near $1,000 an hour. These guys who are getting paid $1,000 an hour are using ChatGPT to determine if certain laws are the way that they are, determining if, we can write certain risk in certain states. So I got to go to the actual statute, and then I got to type back, and I got to be like, ChatGPT is wrong. We absolutely can write this risk in Colorado based on our license. Here's the statute that says it. It's so annoying. It's really annoying. So I'm actually kind of scared because I think that just about everyone's using AI right now. And the reason why that's scary is because that means that your doctors are using AI, your lawyers are using AI, your dentists are using AI. And that's scary because AI is not there yet where it can do these tasks. Half the time it makes stuff up. So that's scary that you got lawyers out here using AI and are dead wrong. That is scary. I would never listen. The only lawyer that I think we should hire are lawyers who are just like me. If that person hates robots and AI, they're hired. If they love it, we ain't hiring you because you don't know how to do your job. You're depending on the stupid robot that makes stuff up, doesn't even get it right to do your job. And you're making everybody's life harder, like mine. Emailing me dumb things that I already told you we can do. I already told you we can do commercial auto in Colorado. I already told you. According to our license, we can do it. I already told you that. So stop emailing me with your stupid lawyers saying, well, Google AI told me that we can't. I already told you can. I gave you the statute. Okay, my rant's over. Jeez. Oh boy, so annoying. All right, I'm going to read you all's comments about the AI. We got to talk about that. Damn this AI, you're funny. Yeah, so anyway, that's my rant. Daily Fredo with Kaisa uses AI. Oh, I know who that is. I know her channel. I love her videos, but she uses Grok for information a lot. Yeah, I would tell Daily Fredo, I'm going to be honest, guys. I would tell Daily Fredo, do not use AI. And I like her channel. She has a really good channel. I think she just recently hit 100K subscribers. Shout out to her. She's great. I like her channel. You know, she does good work. But my advice to her would be do not use AI, especially when you're making a YouTube video. Don't use AI. Don't use AI for your research. Don't do it. If you want help on how to do research, I mean, I could give advice. It's really easy. There are certain things that you could do to get all the information you need. Twitter is a really big help in that. But if you type certain things in, you'll be able to get all the information you need. And this is coming from a guy who used to be a legit professional researcher. I used to be back in the day. But yeah, do not use AI. Do not use AI for... April says, no pressure, just inquiring. Yeah, I know you guys are excited for the video. It's going to come. I will put it out. No, keep asking me. Keep asking me because I don't want to forget. I have so many video ideas and so much news that I'm watching. I can forget. So definitely let me know. Lawyers have been using paralegals forever. Why not? Yeah, but a paralegal is not AI or a robot. That's a much different thing. Paralegals still have training, and paralegals, for the most part, know what they're doing. That's a little different. A paralegal is an actual human who's trained to do the work. Yeah, that's a little different. I would be careful using AI. I really would. I mean, you could use AI for just regular stuff, but don't use it for work. In my opinion, do not use AI for work. You want to make sure you actually know how to do your job, okay? If you're a doctor, don't use AI. If you're a lawyer, do not use AI. I do not want a doctor or a lawyer who's using ChatGPT. I want your expertise, okay? Professional researcher, LOL. Me when I'm stalking an old friend. Oh, no, Bunny Trees. I was a legit professional researcher, like legit. No, I really was. My actual job title was researcher. That was a while ago, though. That's just not true. Wait, what? Oh, you guys are still going back and forth about the women thing. Oh, goodness. I thought we moved on from that. Okay, well, I guess they're going back and forth about women's bodies. Won't catch me. I'm not going to lie to you, psyops. I would sit this one out, my guy. Do not go back and forth with a woman about a woman's body. Don't do it. Sit this one out, psyops. Don't do it. Sit it out. Guess we'll play more Brett Cooper.
MIA from my timeline, but maybe he is from his job. Anyway, they go on, and the subtitle reads, Kash Patel has alarmed colleagues with episodes of excessive drinking and unexplained absences. Now, this headline, like I said, is obviously incredibly ironic considering he is all over my X feed all the freaking time, but it is usually not for a good reason. Now, these accusations of drunken MIA behavior, blowing up at staffers, not being able to be reached.
Wait a second. How long have I been live? Jeez Louise, I'm going on 3 hours. All right, guys, that's it. That's it. We cutting the stream. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Rumple Gold. Rumple Gold donated a lot of money this stream. That was very generous. Shout out to him. Shout out to Rumple Gold for all the super chat money. That was very nice. He's a man. He get no opinion about women's bodies. Yeah, I agree. That's why I said he should sit this one out. But it's okay. He's going to have no choice but to sit this one out because I got to go. I got to go. Brett's old videos were like hanging out with a friend. Her new videos are too performative. I agree. No, you don't know anything about how a woman's body works, bro. That's true. Most people don't. It's true. Don't assume my gender. I mean, there's a picture of a man in your profile pic, bro. All right, guys. All right, man. Y'all go back and forth on social media or something. We cutting the stream. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for the support. Thanks for being here. At the peak, we had like over 100 people in here, so that was really cool. So yeah, if you are not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, be like our good friend April here and become a member. You can become a member for as low as $3 a month. That'd be really cool. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I see you guys are still going back and forth about the women thing. All the men, back off, chill out. Or I guess the one guy that keeps saying stuff, chill out. You're never gonna win that battle. just leave it alone. Thank you for replying to me. Have a nice day. Oh yeah, we reply to everybody in this stream. We reply to everybody. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm cutting the stream. I'm sorry. I'm cutting the stream cold turkey. So you guys are gonna have to debate this next time. All right, bye-bye. See ya.